Um, Hello stream. Let us know if the volume is bad, and we will adjust it accordingly. Um, yeah, I guess let's start with like a quick round of introduction. Um, I would feel bad if I started, so I'm gonna kick it over to Mara.
What do you want me to say? I'm Mara. It says the thing next to.
You never done an introduction before?
I don't know. I've never been on a stream. What am I supposed to say?
Say
You're
say your
Mara.
name and say what you do.
I'm Mara. I mostly did the music for the game, but I also helped out with odds and ends. Mostly I sat in the room with Mary and Mentha and, I don't know, hashed out questions and was there for the ride, I suppose. That's me. On to Maryland.
Wow, it's Marilyn. It's me. I'm the leader. Uh, just kidding. I wrote like a lot of this game. Um, and I did all the coding and stuff, and anything basically that's visual, that's not drawn, uh, was done by me. I also did some sound effects. Yeah. Anta?
I meant that I would assume that people watching this would know who I am because it's on my stream channel. Hi. I did all the art. Didn't really. Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. Art. Sorry, I was gonna mention something, but I guess we can get to that later. And I did a little bit of the writing. We all had a bit in the writing, though. I would say.
I
But
think everyone added their own flavor to the game, and I think that's why it feels as full as it does. I could not have done it alone, and even though like a lot of the writing was done by me, I feel like a lot of the ideas like weren't, like they were like born from like collective brainstorming and going like, oh wow, that would be so cool to do, and then we just like follow that to the natural conclusion.
yeah. Um, so we are going to do a full playthrough of the game today. We're likely just going to have it on auto while we kind of like talk in the background. Um, what else? Oh yeah, we also have a bit of we have some questions that people sent in before the stream that we're going to be answering as well. And I guess it would be good to do those questions right before the stream starts. Oh, we got another one. Put that at the end. And
Uh,
yeah, Mary, read some of them off, I guess.
yeah. Who wants to be the reader of questions?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good Mary.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start from the top. I made a whole document full of these. So the first question we got was from Molly M. How did the three of y'all manage creating such a cohesive atmosphere throughout the piece? I wonder what kinds of words and images or mold boards, I'm gonna assume that's a typo, were being tossed around,
Both boards.
uh, or or if you will, we're all just on the same page from the jump.
Uh, I mean, for the most part, I would say like the first month of development was spent like mostly just remote between all of us, but the moment that we kind of all got into the same room, we were on the same page.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
we just have like a lot of shared DNA because we're like we've just like known each other for such a long time, and we are also dating. Um so I think like a lot of the things that we find appealing in art, like inspirations and stuff like that, were already like things that we had shared. Um and I think a lot of our like kind of collective vision comes from like those kinds of inspirations.
Well, I also think that like you two started from, I guess, points like that. Like I remember when I started working on the game, you'd already been like workshopping it for like 2 weeks. And like the things that you had in mind were like rural setting, isolation, telecommunications, and bunnies. Like I think those were the things that were set in stone from like the super beginning. So I would say that that's like largely what carried through the game the whole time. So I think that like the cohesion was finding like ways to make real currents in those themes, but it didn't like I didn't feel like there was like ever a sense of like a bunch of different threads that had to be pulled together. It was more of like starting with the seed of I think those sorts of elements and then growing it out more. I don't know, maybe it's different for you too. Like you thought differently about it, but from my perspective it seemed like that was sort of the way to run it.
I think I agree. Like, yeah, like kind of like first principles almost. Like, we want this to like be a game about someone who's lonely because I don't know. I guess we want to reflect the kind of loneliness that we felt in our lives. Um, and I think more and more as we like continued putting the game together, I think like more and more of our personalities just like got embedded into it in weird ways.
I don't think I have anything else to add. Um, yeah, I think we just kind of all melded together pretty well.
Yeah, I agree.
Next
Um,
question.
yeah, this question comes from Devourer Eclipse. I don't have a particularly focused question, but I'd like to hear more about some of the decision that the team made while composing for Hello Girl. Instrumentation choices, whether songs should loop, or particular soundscapes you wanted to hit for certain scenes.
It was vibes.
Well, I didn't really compose anything, so Mara, what, like, how would you answer this?
Um, I think songs had to loop because you might sit on a screen for a long time. Like when I play VNs, I always take really long to do them because I like to get to like the comfy zone. Like I always think of like certain scenes as like hub world, like where you're just sitting there and there's like a good picture, and then you like want to listen to the song for a while. I always do this on like title screens, and so I think it's important that if people want to play like that, that they aren't like left, alone at any point in time. And so I think that the looping was like definitely had to happen. So I think that it's easier then from that perspective to have things that are like trended towards some amount of simplicity or some amount of like I think when you hear like complex melodies again and again and again and again, they like burn themselves into a brain like in a weird way for me. And so it also seemed like the game was stripped down. So I wanted to keep things mostly simple. And then I think like guitar lends itself well to that, especially because it's like a rural setting. So um I think that like it seemed obvious to me. Maybe I just think that way because I already like acoustic blues a lot, and so much of the soundtrack ended up being that. But um, I think those were the sorts of things I was thinking about. It didn't seem like the sort of game that needed like super complicated music. In fact, I felt like that would take away from the atmosphere that Mentha and Mary were building up with like the writing and the art. It should be sort of plaintive and contemplative, etc. You know, I don't know.
Yeah,
Particular soundscapes. Oh, the funny thing is that the only thing I have for particular soundscapes is the scene where, like, with later on. I was literally just thinking about on Entombed's Left Hand Path on the first song. There's like this like synth interlude that I think literally might just be like the theme for Poltergeist, but it's like this sick ass death metal song. And then there's like this spooky synth part. And I was thinking about that when I made the track. I was like, I want to make some spooky. I want it to sound like Left Hand Path. So that was that.
Muted.
I guess that was the only particular soundscape I thought of.
We're in the middle of
yeah.
the stream right
But one thing I want to add to everything that you said, Mara, was that like the kind of like absence of music that's also present. Um, I think like having moments of rest is just as important of having moments of like unrest. Which I guess is not the right word to use. But I thought a lot about like just like the times where we didn't want music to play and where we just like wanted the world to really like soak in. I think we reserve the music for the more like important part. Like I don't know, I feel like I almost like mentally my model has always been like, what did you do in a movie? And in movies, there's like they only really pull in music when they like want to like tug at your heartstrings or make you feel like invigorated. And I don't know, I think that's like a good philosophy to follow in general.
Oh man, that was only the second question. Let's see. I guess should I read the third? I will anyway, just cause.
Yeah.
This one comes from Nathan Francois. Hello, congratulations on your Steam release. I've been following Mary's blog post for some time, so I'm happy to hear that you're taking questions. Disclaimer: I have yet to play through the Steam version of Hello Girl. 1. This is probably rather obvious question, but I remember reading that you had some other plans for the ending initially. Could you elaborate as to why you weren't able to go further with the story, and what eventually deterred you from continuing Hello Girl? This is not, and then in parentheses, this is not me advocating for a sequel, by the way. I'm just curious. 2. Do you remember?
Well, let's do
Yeah,
one at a
yeah,
time.
yeah. I figured.
um yeah, I
Um,
don't know exactly what this refers to. Um, I think maybe I wrote at some point that like the ending that we ended up writing was kind of different from what we conceived initially. I'm not sure if that's what this is referring to. Um,
I just
the
wanted
other
to start the
thing,
music.
yeah, the other thing that this could have been, is like I don't know. I guess like the kind of original scope, like the like VN Cup like version of this game, ended kind of abruptly. And I think that's the version that like some people have played, and the people who have played the Steam version have no idea what I'm talking about. Um, we originally made this game for a game jam, and we ended up like just kind of leaving the game for a bit after it came out. And like late last year, we were like, let's remaster this game and put it on Steam. And I think that like fleshed out the ending a lot, and it made it kind of feel less abrupt. Um, but like, I think like the story probably could continue, but I think we would have to come up with like some really like what else do we want to say on top of what already has been said? Because I think it ties itself up pretty nicely right now and kind of leaves the future uncertain. And I actually really like it that way, and that's not something I think should change. Like I've already conceptualized some things that like could conceivably exist in the sequel. Um, and this is I don't even know if I want to say, to be honest, because I feel like this kind of taints the view that some people would have of the game. So I'm gonna leave it at that. But I don't think we're really gonna make a sequel, or at least we're not planning to right now. Like I think where we want to focus is like expanding on the world, but I think the characters that we wrote, with the aside of like have pretty much like completed their arcs, and I feel like saying more would be redundant.
Uh, 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 uh. Hold on. Second question from this person. Do you remember what came first in the conception of Hello Girl? Did you have an image and characters in mind, or did the story grow from an initial outline? Uh, hmm. I mean, I guess we did have an initial outline of sorts. I mean, we just had like 3 or 4 plot points we knew that we wanted to have in the game. Um, we knew that we wanted like the main character, to be like some sort of some girl who has a very mundane job and lives in some sort of uncertain world. And I remember it was kind of funny. The initial concept I had was like bunny girl who lives in like underground tunnels where the world is like uninhabitable on the surface or something like that. She's also a mailman of sorts. But we didn't go that dramatic with it. But mailman was definitely like something that we thought about doing for a while. I don't know how we got to telephone exchange, like telephone operator, but
It's it's because at the time I was looking at the Seattle like Connections Museum like YouTube,
oh yeah.
and I was like, oh, this technology is kind of cool. Um, like, and then I was like, wait, like, what if her job is that instead of like because it was kind of undefined at the time. She was like doing something in a room alone. Then I think we were like, wait, what if she was like, okay, so like switchboard operators usually worked in packs. Like they have just like a big office of people doing the thing, and it's like a really busy place. What if you like invert that and just make it like kind of lonely and weird and esoteric? And like the first scene we wrote for the game was, um, I think Anna sitting at the switchboard and taking a call, like the kind of very first scene you see after like the intro of the game, and then her going like to Maillard. Pretty much that whole stretch of the game was like written as like a kind of like demo of like what is like the core of this thing, and then I think everything just grew out around that part.
Um, Let me reread the question again. Yeah, everything grew from that point, and little by little we just built on it, and we were like, hey, what if we did this? This would be cool, and then it just kind of went on from there. I think that's the same for like kind of any collaborative project, and it should be that way. I think um, we weren't too rigid in the outline itself. Like we were all willing to just kind of like if we had something cool in our minds, willing to be flexible with it. Uh, I wanted to do a lot more like I guess dramatic fucked up things, but I don't think it fit the vibe because we were going for something, like heartwarming and kind of like a love story of sorts, and it ended up working out pretty well. The meeting of like Mary and I, our meshing of vibes, I guess, ended up in a really interesting position, and I like it. Obligatory. Okay, so number 3, the question from this guy. Obligatory. What influence do you question? Everyone can answer, of course, but most of all, I'd like to ask what you think inspired the writing and music. More specifically, what led Mara to write this type of music for Hello Girl? You see, I really like the guitar playing. I hope to hear more of it in your next game.
I can answer the music thing real quickly. It's sort of like I said earlier, like I think with like the rural setting and the, sort of like down tempo pace of the game, like acoustic guitar blues made a lot of sense to me. It's also just like the sort of, one of the sorts of music I've
Can you open the
played
window
the
there, bro?
most of, so it felt familiar to
I
me,
don't
and
know
I
why I
was
got
like,
so
oh, it's
talking
cool.
heads
I
on.
get to do my
Talking
my
about
dealio for this. As far as like influences, like what do I mean, I'm not that good at guitar, so I can't really play like these guys, but I mean like people like Lightning Hopkins or John Fahey or like like Mississippi John Hurt were people that I would like listen a lot of and think like, okay, I want to have that sort of like tone and feel like the sort of thing where it's like you're hearing the recording and you're like you feel like this dude is sitting on a porch in Mississippi and there's just like whatever crappy microphone they had at the time is right over there. I think that was the sort of thing I was trying to go for. But um yeah, as for the guitar playing in the next, I don't know, we'll see where Kawaya ends up music-wise. I don't think it'll sound like Hello Girl, but maybe there will be guitar.
I think there's a lot of like trap music in your like electronic compositions
For Kawaya?
for Hello Girl. Like I don't know, like the
Mhm.
drums you use and stuff.
Oh,
I don't
Oh,
know
that's true.
if that's a stupid statement, then just
No,
react.
that's kind of funny because the song that does get used for the dials, and even some of the like Dream songs are, I like big crushed the hell out of the like Icy Twat sample pack. So I think that Ice Dancer sample pack is actually also used on one of the songs. I forget, but shouts out to them. You know.
I think you can hear my. Hold on. Never mind.
Muted.
I think in terms of like writing inspirations, I return a lot to like Yokohama Shopping Log, like Girls Last Tour, Shimeji Simulation. There's probably more stuff. I think like Yokohama Shopping Log particularly comes to mind because it's, I don't know, it's like about like being peaceful despite being kind of lonely. And you know, kind of having some purpose in like, you know, like running her cafe and stuff. And you know, even though she doesn't have a lot of customers, she's kind of satisfied. And I think maybe more of us should be like her.
Yeah, Yokohama Shopping Log is so good.
That one also has like lesbians in it.
Zaced. Inspired the writing. I don't think we've really answered that much, but it's hard to say. I think it was just kind of the amalgamation of like everything that we like in our stories, and just wanted to write a story that we would like to read. That type of thing. We play a lot of visual novels too, so ended up in a specific way. That's not a good answer.
I don't know. Like I feel like the like Higurashi also has just been like very influential to me. We even use some Higurashi sound effects in the game. Oh yeah, Alien 9. Absolutely.
Really?
As like an inspiration. Yeah, I don't know. It's like the world is this kind of like just like enemy that's like you can't really understand. Like I feel like especially Rabbit Zero, where it's like a bit like paranormal, I guess, but it's kind of like evident in the world that like something is wrong, but it's never directly addressed. That's something that I always really liked about Alien 9. It's like you have these like alien spaceships landing on Earth, and they never really explain why that is. That's just how it is.
Playing some of the songs in the background, I guess, so it's not weirdly quiet. Though I do like.
I have not seen Mind Game.
I thought you had it downloaded.
That doesn't mean I've seen it. I download a lot of things.
Oh, I see.
I'm like a hoarder.
Well, most of the stuff that's like been on the server for a really long time, I assume, is like stuff you've already watched. So that's why I thought that probably.
There's a lot of questions in chat.
Watch it sometime. Yeah, you have some art questions, Mentfa, if you want to answer those.
Favorite paint tools? I use Clip Studio Paint. That's about it. When I draw on my iPad, I use Procreate for the most part. That's basically it. Process for making the sprites. There wasn't very much like iterativeness on the sprites. You kind of just like I was kind of rushing through it, and so the beginning of the sprites was kind of what we ended up with. I'm gonna bring out like some examples, I guess. But the initial drawings of the sprites were very close to what the final ones were. And when we like kind of put the game on Steam, we actually didn't do any like changes to the sprites at all, other than adding new poses to them. The process for making them was just kind of drawing them with the default face, removing the facial features, then breaking all the like expressions, like particularly the eyebrows, the eyes, and the mouth into separate layers, and then assigning them in the engine as like things that we can easily call, and organizing it that way. What else? Favorite visual novels? We can go on for so long about this probably. I don't know if we want to answer that at the moment, but
quick question about like RenPy add-ons also we had in our document. Made my own RenPy thing. I used to work on Hello Girl, but like in general, and I think tinkering with that kind of thing is fun. But I made a thing that lets you like start the game and like jump around really quickly and sync your cursor where you are in the game.
Yeah, it's super cool.
The layered image visualizer is really useful if you're working with layered images in RenPy. You can probably show it, like, because you have the game open, right?
The layered images thing? Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. But yeah, it basically lets you like preview all the like this like expressions and stuff that you've configured. Yeah, you just like search like Anna, for example, and then click on like the checkboxes. You can like change the different expressions and like attributes that you've set. And this stuff is like super dope. Like I think layered images is like why Hello Girl is as like animated as it is. Because it kind of let us like have many different layers of expressions and stuff, and like infinite combinations essentially of like expressions that we didn't even like conceive of. Because we have the like eyebrows and eyes and mouth like all on different layers. So yeah, there's a lot to pick and choose from, and that was really fun to do when we were editing the game.
Make her do a funny face.
You can just press randomize and get like some really funny results.
It was really fun to make them change often, like when you're doing a thing. Like writing the sprite changes for a scene was almost like you got to like act. Because like I get to be Anna for 10 seconds. You know what I
It's
mean?
cool, yeah. It's like playing with
going along.
puppets.
Yeah, it is like playing with puppets or dolls or something. It was fun.
Puppet show.
Do you want to do the next question on the little thingy?
Yeah.
Wait. Sorry. There's a bit at the end after the guy. So this person asked 4 questions, and then at the end, I thank you in advance for giving me your time. Hello, Girl is a huge inspiration. One of the main reasons why I started writing. Have a very pleasant day, Nathan. Thank you, Nathan.
Oh, that's sweet. Hope you make something cool.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Nikolai Gorbinsky at yahoo.com. I love how your game hits on that feeling of coming into contact with sensitive stuff and how nervous or calm that can make you feel. My great-grandma was a phone operator in the war and in the country. And the game really reminded me of some of the stories that she had. Have any of you worked in comms or remote work by yourself? I think Hello Girl hits the vibe of that pretty well. I worked in the call center before, and it was really isolating.
I didn't know that.
I actually didn't know that either.
I was selling like electrical contracts, and the whole thing was basically just like scamming old people. You know, not scamming in the sense that like you are doing something illegal, but scamming in the sense that like you are just cold calling people and trying to get them to accept a contract when they're like kind of old, and I don't feel very good about that whole thing. That was like my second job that I had.
That's deep lore.
Yeah,
that is some deep lore.
Crazy.
I'm kind of surprised that I haven't told either of you guys that like ever.
Maybe you did and I just forgot. I don't know.
As for remote work, Mary works remote at her job, so I guess that kind of works. Kind of applies.
Yeah, I don't know. I have an office too. I don't know. Another question was working on jams like V and Cup can be real tight. Apart from like hashing out the story differently, was there anything you wanted to add that didn't make it? UI or music or text effect stuff or anything? I think probably my biggest wants personally would be like we just didn't really get to finish the game, like because we were just like just like working on pretty strict timeline. So I think because of that, we cut a lot of things. One scene that we never ended up doing, or even like revisiting for the oh, she broke it. That we didn't even end up revisiting for like the remaster of the game was there was this scene where like Anna is getting rations at the start of it, and then we never actually like see her get the rations, and that was gonna be like a whole scene where she like meets someone, and I don't know, she's kind of like an older role model or something. Like there was gonna be like another Maillard, but we never really got very far into like actually defining her.
Why are y'all so cool?
Sorry, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry for being so cool.
I'm just sorry in general. Thanks all from Grace. Wait, there was another question. Oh wait, you already answered that. Working on jams like the Uncup. That yeah. Sorry, I'm like half paying attention because things are happening around me.
The fucked up dog was always in the or like is there even a fucked up dog, or was Mailer just smoked out?
The fucked up dog was real, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was like cylindrical.
I never got to see
we were
it.
driving back from picking up pizza one day when Mentho was here working on the game, and I saw a guy like walking his dog, and he did have a cylindrical dog, and I said like, you see that guy with a cylindrical dog, and then I think Mentho was like, that sounds like something Maillard would say, and then it ended up being in the game, but that was a real thing that happened.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's the lore. The dog was real. It just existed in real life, so that's why you can't see it in the game. But yeah.
I think Mentha did draw it. She like posted it on the Mailer Twitter.
Was it really? I never saw that somehow.
Oh, it's like a shitty drawing. It's not really worth fighting, but it's really. Oh wait, where is it? I can't find it anymore. Oh well. More chat question.
I'll put it in the chat.
Special technique.
Oh, someone beat me to it.
You got sniped.
That's right to hard work meant to slate it. Thank you, CPU. I don't think you understand how much that means coming from you. What else? How was it managing work with making Hello Girl? Not that hard, I think. It was just like, since we were under a time limit, it was a little bit more involved than what we are doing, like without one, obviously, but like, we were thinking about it all the time, and so that made it pretty easy to work on.
Maybe they mean like Mary and her job and stuff. Like, how did you like split time?
Mary wasn't working at the time, was she?
Yeah, she was, because she started the job like a few months before. I was unemployed because I just moved to Utah, so I was
I took a week off to work on the game, like when y'all were here.
Oh yeah,
that's true. We like boot camped really hard. The one.
Yeah, and then like outside of me taking time off, just working myself to death doing both.
Wait, no, I quit my job for that because I got a job at the cancer research thing, and then I worked there 4 days, and then I was like, this sucks. And then like also that was the next week was Mentha was coming, so I like quit on Friday, and I was like, screw this. And then we made Hello Girl instead. So I actually was unemployed by choice. There's sacrifice for this. I forgot about that.
Sometimes you gotta sacrifice to make cool art.
And I'm perpetually unemployed, so it was very easy for me to work on it. Yay. What was the process like for scripting? Mary handled most of that, I think. We didn't actually do too much in terms of like craziness with the Ren'Py, but Mary had a good grasp on the like transformation language thing, and so she was able to make the sprites like jump and spin and do all sorts of movements with it pretty easily.
backflips.
Yeah, I think that added quite a lot to the game, and it very much made it come alive. And I've heard it like called like a puppet show type thing. Maybe I said that.
Yeah. Well, I had made a Renpai game before, so I think that was like just me experimenting with stuff. I think it was a pretty iterative process. Like we used had the characters.
Oh, scripting
you
like
know,
writing the story.
Oh. Um. Yeah, I feel like I partially answered that like a bit earlier, at least. Like we were just like brainstorming things, and it started from the seed idea of wanting to write a story about a girl that is like really lonely and working on like something kind of the middle of nowhere, and then like another girl shows up and like it gives her some context to what she's doing. And then I think everything just like grew out of that like kind of core idea. But yeah, it was very like bit by bit. Yeah, we were like, oh, doing this would be cool, or doing that would be cool, and then we like tried to like twist it into what we had.
Oh, put that in a little pouch
Like,
under the TV.
Anna didn't like have a sister to begin with, for example. Like that was something that came later.
Right there too. Nice.
Was Rabbit Zero a part of the original plan?
Oh, it was, yeah.
It was, yeah.
I
I'll let you answer.
we saw this. I saw this like image of this like giant cat girl that was like hugging a tower or something, and she was in military clothes, and I don't know why that like made me feel kind of emotional. And so I thought, like, what if there was just like a giant cat girl in the world that like militaries are trying to keep hidden, and the story's central thing has something to do with that, and then Mary like that, so
Yeah.
kind of what we wanted.
So little of that ended up actually being in the game, but there was going to be more, like, I don't know, like abjectly like apocalyptic, like I don't really want to spoil it because I think we're gonna use a lot of this in Kavaya Local Maximum. But Rabbit Zero was going to have a bigger role initially, but that kind of like ended up being less and less of a thing in this game as we went along and like realized that like, oh, this is like actually about Anna and Courier. And so like as a result, I think like like one of the criticisms we got was that like, what the hell was that thing at the start, and why was that like never like why did that never like really properly interact with the story? And I think it kind of ended up taking on a different shape where it's like you are one of the people in this world that are not important, and you don't actually get to like see the answer. I think Kavaya Local Maximum would be the opposite. It's like you are at the center of this thing, or like you maybe even caused it. So
It's
yeah, I
all
don't know.
your
Stay
fault.
tuned for that. I don't wanna drop too many details because I'm really excited about what's to come.
Hi there. World War One. Hold on. The vaguely World War One setting decided on before you settled on the phone operator angle. I think it was the result of the phone operator angle. Us going with like we thought like some sort of grand war happening around those times, like kind of vaguely 1915 to like 1950, around those years. The official JSDF furry. Oh yeah. I don't know if the thing is official, but I found that out much later, and I thought that was really funny.
How does Emo Team like their coffee?
I just had black coffee before this. I've been drinking it black for some reason lately. Oh, it's because I don't have sugar in my house, and I haven't been bothered to buy any.
Got an espresso machine in like January, and it's ruined my life.
Actually, it bossed up our life. Because now I can make Americanos instead of drip coffee, and it's basically the same thing, but it tastes like 10% better.
Mary's espressos are so good. I'll be right back for just a moment. You can start with the next question if you want.
Mod's
Okay.
asleep.
Yeah, mods for asleep. Post cat girls.
Yeah.
Do-do-do.
Hi, Mary.
Hi. I was gonna read off the next question.
Go crazy.
This one is from 1-800-HOTBEEF@gmail.com. What are some interesting challenges and hurdles cleared by the team during development? How did you all overcome them? How radically does the end project differ from what was designed? What would you all do differently or doing differently in the context of Kavaya Local Maximum? There's some more to this question, but I'll start with that. I think one of the things we disagreed the most on was like what should happen. Like I feel like we had a lot of like there were times where like we just couldn't agree on what the story would be, and I think that was really difficult. And it just took a lot of talking to like figure that out. How radically does the end project differ from what was designed? Well, I think the only thing that's really still there is like a girl works and she's lonely. And the original design really wasn't more than that. We kind of learned as we went on that there was like going to be an endpoint, but it took a very long time, I think, for just like writing a thing, trying it out in the game, seeing what like new things came to you and inspired you, and continuing from there.
I'm back. What'd you answer?
I answered the like, what are some challenges and hurdles
Oh yeah.
that we had. I brought up the like we like really didn't agree sometimes about what to do, and it took a lot of talking to do that.
Oh yeah.
What would you all do differently or doing differently in the context of Kavaya Local Maximum?
A lot.
Yeah, very different game. The only thing that's the same is like the story or the like world that it takes place in, I guess, which does tie back into Rabbit Zero in a lot of ways. But um, you know, I think I want to write like a really mean story, like the opposite almost. Like there is no like cozy happy ending, but it's more like I don't know, people just like destroying themselves.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be a lot scarier, I would say.
Lots of blood.
I'm excited. What is everyone's favorite moments and bits in the story? Wait, did you read the one before it? Yeah, you did.
There was one question about uninspirations that I don't think I fully understand.
What were
What are
you
some
trying to not elicit? Oh,
I was trying to not make garbage.
yeah.
I was trying to make pack.
That's kind of hard to answer because, like, if we say what we don't want in a story, it's kind of like shitting on that thing that we don't want, even if it's like not necessarily that bad.
Well, I also think that it's like not really the way we thought about making it. Like, I don't think that you like try to nitpick what you want the end product to be based off like references to the external world. I think all you can do is like make the story that comes out in the process and let that be what it becomes, you know? I don't think that you can like be halfway through making something and then be like, oh, this is turning out too much like that. This is turning out too much like this. We have to scale back this accordingly. Like, I think you can't like look at it from an external view that way. You know what I mean? Um, I don't think that there was anything we were like trying to avoid in that way.
Yeah,
I think that the process felt like starting from a seed and then growing it to what felt natural rather than like trying to cram things in from the external world and trying to like navigate some specific current of art, so to speak. You know what I mean? I think that's so. I don't really know if there were uninspirations. Is I guess what I'm trying to say with all that is that like I don't think we thought of it in that manner, etc.
Oh. Someone asked a question in Spanish. How do you feel about your drawings and art in general reaching places as far as the Spanish-speaking world? I've had like a crazy amount of people wanting for a Spanish translation ever since like something of mine was featured on a pretty big Spanish YouTuber channel. And we've been wanting to do the Spanish translation for a while. Well, I'll talk about that later, but it's cool. I don't know what else to say other than it's cool, and I'm glad you guys are here and still sticking with me, despite the fact there isn't a Spanish translation or anything like that.
Are connecting people.
Mm-hmm. Is meant to fuck with stabilizers and paint programs. A little bit, not really though. Only when I like kind of need it, but for the most part, I always just have that off. I have a weirdly steady hand, so I kind of don't need it.
It's true, she's goated. The first time I saw Mintha draw in real life, I was like, I don't know. It was like watching like a wizard. The art wizard. You know?
I was
Like,
on
'cause
some
it
other
was, like-
shit when we were like making the game. I don't know what happened. It kind
Well,
of
but no, that's like literally what I mean, because I don't like know anybody that was like good at
An
art in
art
my life
wizard.
before. So like the first time I saw you draw in front of me, it was like I was like working on a song, right? So I like sat and like played guitar for 20 minutes, and I like came back and like the sprite or like the CG was like done, and I was like, what the hell? I was like, how did she draw that in like 20 minutes?
It was
So,
actually crazy how locked in you were.
yeah,
Like,
Mento was
I
like psycho work ethic mode the whole time she was here.
yeah.
I think it's
I
because
just
of that
asked.
vape you bought.
Literally.
Yeah, don't tell people to vape.
That thing is dangerous. Next question maybe. Hold on.
Yeah, I like this one. What's everyone's favorite moments and bits in the story? What came together well?
What the hell happened to the music? Oh, I see.
Every single moment with Anna and Courier, I don't know, I'm just so happy about, I feel like. I just want them to be happy. I don't know, just that kind of area where it's like you're touching each other in some way, but neither
Okay.
party is really letting it show too much. It's just, I don't know, that's like addicting to me. And I think as a result, I have some like fixation on doing that while it just came out.
I was laughing at what Mara said. Favorite part, I would say, I think everything that Mary wrote that like kind of settled in things and the little interactions between Anna and Curry are like so sweet, and they make me so happy to read again. Like, I also had a lot of fun with the bits, especially the part where like she comes back and she's all bandaged and shit. It's really fucking silly. I love that. I'm really proud.
Yeah, she's just like beating down on Anna and Courier, like trying to like pull them into like some plot, and they're like, "You guys are my accomplices now. You're no better than me." It's like they didn't even do anything.
Hey, just when you walk into someone's house and now it's their fault.
Yeah.
My favorite part is the final dream that you wrote, because I remember that
yeah.
was like written like we went on like a long 2-hour walk and we're like talking about stuff, and then like right when we kind of got home you were like, yo, I think I know how to write this, and I was like, cool. And then I like went to my room to like do something. I don't even remember what I did, and then I came back like an hour later and you had like 75% of that scene written, and then I was like reading it, and then you like put the song that because I feel like we already had an unused song that was like kind of for that. So we put it together with a song and like I read through it and I was like, damn, this is like she cooked. I
Yeah,
think
that
that's
was
still
crazy.
probably my favorite part of the game. Is that conversation that Anna has on like the dream telephone in the post office. That was I think like the moment where I felt like because before that was actually released like 2 days after the VN Cup version. That was not in the version that the VN Cup judges got actually, but it came out like 2 days after the game's release. Like that was a fix, so to speak. And I was like, yeah, that felt like the cherry on top. Like that felt like really the thing that tied the game together to me. I think when that got added.
Yeah. Yeah, like tying back to the opening.
Yeah, exactly. Because the opening was like also one of my favorite parts of the game, and I kind of felt like weird that we never picked up on that energy again. So
Yeah.
I felt like that kind of brought it full circle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that connection between Anna and Rabbit Zero is interesting.
Hold on. What's your favorite anecdotes from the fans of the work about what it made them feel? What themes and motifs have people seen or spotted in your work that you weren't thinking about during its creation? How does everyone feel about works responding to or influenced by Hello, Girl?
Does that exist?
I don't know if we have any fan works like that go beyond just like drawings. But if they do, please tell us about them.
Yeah, I'm not sure there are works responding to or influenced by Hello Girl, but if there are, that's cool.
In terms of like anecdotes from fans, I'm not sure if there really are any. They're like reviews specifically on itch.io and Steam, and I thought some of them are very sweet, including that one that was on Backlogged or whatever that site is.
That one's on Steam now. I think the
Yeah, that was Den Hop, wasn't
Yeah.
it?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I don't know, like straight up just like analysis of the whole narrative. I thought that was really cool. And the yeah, I don't know, reflecting on the like cruel world we live in and how it affects normal people. I feel a lot of camaraderie.
I should
people.
just play the game in the back. Sorry, I didn't read that.
Yeah,
message.
just like put it on auto, and you know, I don't know, it gives people something to look at, I guess.
You're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it is like anyone that like noticed that philosophy of like, the world is terrible, but we have each other, and maybe that's good enough. I don't know. That message really just resonates with me. And yeah, I don't know. I'm repeating myself.
Let me know if the game's too loud, by the way.
Yeah, Yuno forsakes the standard idea of what's important for the world to save it in her own way by going after Rabbit Zero. Yeah, that's just not something that was important to Anna, right? Like, she doesn't want to be, sucked into that world, you know? Like, that's too big for her. Oh, someone said it was a bit loud.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to fix it. Not sure if like adjusting it through Windows is actually working, so instead I'll do.
And maybe turn up the text speed a little bit as well. Yeah, we had another question. For each member of staff, which character do you relate with the most, if at all, and which do you relate to the least, if at all, with?
Which do I relate with the most? I think obviously, you know, because like I feel like that's just me in the story. I just kind of like inserted myself in there in some way, and like the way that she feels about things is very much the way I feel about things. I do like kind of sympathize with Anna a little bit in like the loneliness I guess she feels through day to day, especially when I remember at the beginning of, I think it was actually at the end of the first day, she said she feels like a little hopeless once she's like done with her day's errands and just kind of laying in bed. There's something about like going about a day just entirely alone, finishing up the day, and it makes you feel a little hopeless even if things are fine.
Yeah, like a purposelessness.
Yeah, yeah. Even if you have a good routine, even if everything is going well for you, it's something odd about it, you know? What about you, Mary?
Mm, Courier probably. Um, I don't know. The one who wears the pants and feels like she has to like protect like something that's like, I don't know, just like vulnerable, I guess. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Courier's like finds like an animal who's like running around on the highway, and she's like, "Oh my god, I have
This
to
is
like
my
do
wife
something.
now.
Yeah, I have to do something about this."
I have to marry
Uh,
this animal.
yeah, I don't know. I relate to that for reasons.
That's a crazy sound.
That was a crazy sound.
My bad.
Or what character do you relate to?
Maillard.
Hell yeah.
Because I say things that people. Well, I think it's important that the fan reaction of Maillard is quite different than the in-game reaction to Maillard. In the game, nobody really likes what Maillard says ever. Like usually Maillard kind of says things and then Anna's just like this girl's kind of like she doesn't like hate her, but she's not really like jiving with it. Like she doesn't really like, pick up on what Maillard's doing. And Courier, I feel like wouldn't really like Maillard, at least like in the beginning. So it's kind of like, yeah, I kind of feel like Maillard because I feel like I say a lot of things, and then it's just kind of like you get them or you don't. You know what I mean? But there's a security in that. I think Shorty's cool.
I think
I
like
don't know.
some
I
of
don't think any of the games are really that Mara, but Maillard, if there has to be one.
this is kind of only kind of related, but like I think when I came over to work on the game with you guys, that was like the first time I ever met you, Mara, right?
Yeah, that's true. That is the first time we ever met.
When I was writing some of the stuff for Mallard, I was writing it kind of with you in mind because you would always just say like very funny things like that. And I don't
There you
know,
have it.
loosely based on Mara. Breaking news.
Loosely. I did have green hair. I guess that's the part that's closest.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Green hair and pronouns.
Damn, they got my ass.
Which character can smoke the most weed? What strains of weed do
Maillards.
they enjoy? When they smoke
All
weed, who's it ordering at the drive-thru? While high,
Maillard.
while high in parentheses on weed, who is in control of the ox? While the cast is bonging it, parentheses getting high on weed, who greens out first? That's such a
I
thorough
think
set of
you know.
questions.
This is a lot.
Okay, I feel like the first three are all Maillard.
Yeah,
I
that's
think the
pretty much a
ox
given.
question is a good one, and I think the who greens out first question is you know.
Oh, definitely.
Or helmet. You know or helmet.
You know would have like a like an identity breakdown if she
Yeah.
actually smoked weed.
I think you know would be like, I can do anything and then take one hit and like die.
Yeah, she would like jump off a building like feeling invincible or
You
something.
know would be allergic to weed and it would like burn her trachea and she would like literally die from the reaction. She would like become like scarred and have to go to the hospital.
Holy shit.
Twin Tails could low-key put it down, I think.
Yeah, I think so too.
Twin Tails would be about it. Helmet, not so sure.
She's already smoked weed before.
Oh.
She saw it in the academy.
Oh.
Helmet? I guess yeah, I could see that.
No, Helmet could not cope. I agree with
I'm
thumbs
talking
up.
about Twin Tails.
Oh,
Yeah, Twin Tails could you know. Who would have the ox?
Ooh.
that's a
I
funny
think
thought.
Courier, because it's her truck and she doesn't let anyone else put on the aux.
I feel like Courier would be a music snob too. She'd be like, I have all these 45s, I have all these 78 RPM records. We gotta
Yeah.
listen to the thing. And she'd put on like garbage. She'd put on like
Yeah.
opera music or something, and
Okay.
then everybody'd be like, this sucks, turn it off.
Courier would put on like music that no one would appreciate. Like she would like put on like Mersbo or something, and everyone's like, "Is this music?"
Yeah. No, yeah, Courier would definitely be a snob. But I feel like Courier would also not have good taste. She wouldn't put anything on like cool. She'd put on like prog rock. Everybody'd be like, dude, chill. I'm trying to listen to
She would
Playboy
have loved
Cardi.
the Beatles.
No, Courier would listen to like Yes.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's my thing. Courier would be like, have you guys ever heard of King Crimson? They're the best band ever.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like Courier's personality would like really come out in her music taste because it's like she like listens to music that like says what she can't say, you know, like revealing about her.
I think that Mallard would listen to like Jack Harlow.
I don't even
Anna
know
would
who that
listen
is.
to like One Republic or something, or like One Direction.
Oh, you're right.
Anna would listen to like top 40 music.
You're so right.
But it's cute, you know, it's like Gap.
Question from talonflevy at gmail.com. What informed your decision to make the cast rabbits? What made you decide to make all of the cast rabbits instead of having some be rabbits and others be dogs or some other animal?
Rabbits are good. End of question. Oh,
Rabbits are like a prey animal. I don't know. They're just like, they're always running from shit. I feel like it's appropriate.
I think for the past couple of years, I've just been very obsessed with rabbits, and I think that sort of thing rubbed off on Mary. And
Yeah, you really infected me.
Well, Mary turned into a rabbit.
like I follow like a ton of rabbit accounts on Twitter, and it just kind of like ingrained itself into my soul. And it felt weird to not have the cast rabbits. I don't know why exactly we were like, yeah, let's make them rabbits. But I think after we had that thought, we just accepted it immediately. Like there's no other way.
It was funny because I didn't care about rabbits before I like met you guys, you know? And then it's like we started making this game and it like now I like rabbits.
Animals are cool. I think they have more appeal than if they're humans. It's like humans, but they have extra features. Like that's just fun to explore.
Well, yeah, I definitely like Kimono Mimi, but I was definitely more of like a like Neko Girl type beat, you know? So like Bunny Girls wouldn't have been my like, you know, wouldn't have been like to me natural, but I think it worked good, you know, and now I like really see the vision, you know? I feel like I got indoctrinated through the process of making this game a little bit.
Yeah. The
Here's Anna
reason why
without
there's not
ears.
other like furry creatures in the game is because we kind of wanted to avoid the like unfortunate comparison to real life that like if there's like actual like races in this world, then you open up the can of worms that is like animal racism. And I don't really think that's like something we want. I don't know. Like if you've ever seen any media where it's like the characters are being animals is one of the main things. One thing that they always focus on is that the animals are different in some way. Um and that is not a good uh like analog to like I don't know, like real life racism, I think, because the animals are actually different to each other. Um and I don't know, like you can do like a superficial thing with that, but I think we just kind of wanted to avoid the like unfortunate like comparison there. for Kawaii Local Maximum, we like brought up like what if they're like cats in the northern provinces, and then we were like,
Yeah.
wait, yeah, becomes kind of unfortunate, doesn't it?
I think it's like, well, it sets up the joke about bunnies being people. I think it's
Yeah,
mainly
bunnies are
that.
just people.
Yeah, bunnies are people. Like, what do you mean they're bunnies?
I think
They're
about how
just
we like address that in the little epilogue thing.
You
yeah.
gotta.
So stupid.
Question from Riverbanks. I'm on my second read of this, and I love the improvements that were done for the Steam release. My question is Anna's chest-worn microphone based on any specific piece of equipment? I've never seen a mic like that before.
So it was. I'm not sure like when this thing was used. I'm gonna try to find the picture for it. I'm pulling up some reference boards. But it was real. Oh, here we go. This would probably just be easier to do this. And this. Okay. Yeah, these are photos that I got. Apparently this was a real microphone that was used by switchboard operators very long time ago, probably more than like 100 years ago. I just thought it was a cool shape, and it was different from just kind of having or using something that looks like a standard headset. And I don't know, just being unique, I thought it would be good for this game. I'll leave it on screen for a little longer.
I love how primitive it is.
Yeah, also the headset on this image too. You can see at the top, that was also what I used for the Steam promo art, actually. It looks almost exactly like it, which you can see right here. Yay.
Am I in the gaming chair?
The gaming chair.
I think Anna would have a gaming chair.
Next question from the Blue Dash. In the extra section of the game, I noticed 3 empty slots. Are these placeholders for future updates or just parts of RenPy's default template?
I think I kind of put them there absent-mindedly to just fill up some space, but it does prompt a question, doesn't it? I wanted, I like for the remastered version, I originally had this idea, like, I want to add more stuff. I want to add like another bonus scene. And that just didn't end up materializing because I've been really busy. And I was also kind of at a loss for what else to say on top of what hadn't been said. One thing we wanted to do was just some like fluff. Like we had this idea of adding a kind of like a we were gonna call it like the Hello Girl show. It's basically Anna and Courier hosting a like game show or something of that with like the top 10 moments from Hello Girl, and then they're gonna like talk about it in this like fourth wall breaking way where it's kind of like developer commentary. And they were gonna bring on the different cast members and interview them about things. And then at the very end, Rabbit Zero was gonna come out, but then she didn't want to come out, and they were like, "Well, we can't force her because she could like blow up this entire studio, if she wanted to." That is still like a thing that's in the game files if you're curious. But you know, it's not canon. Obviously, it's just a little bit of fun fluff.
Oh, I didn't know you left it in there. That's funny.
I didn't mean to, but it's in there.
We had an idea for another thingy, another like extra bit that I don't know if we're gonna actually end up doing, but it was like a post-game thing about Anna and Courier going on a trip. We were thinking about writing it for the Steam release, but we can like get to a point where we really liked it or felt like it was necessary. I don't remember what we were saying about it, but
Yeah, I think a lot of that closure kind of got wrapped into the like updated epilogue. The epilogue ended up changing a little bit. It was gonna be Anna and Courier like going on a road trip together to like I think like return Courier's truck or something like that. And then on the way, like they like meet this new character, and they kind of get like implicated in something. Um, and that
this
was
is
kind
new to
of
me.
I definitely told you about this.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't know. I didn't know what to say. Also, like a thing about Clara coming back, so that she's is she alive or not? I don't know. But like, what if she came back? You know, what would that be like? That was another thing. But
oh yeah.
I just like the game where it's at. Like, I don't really want it to change, and I think that's kind of what I realized more and more. Like, more and more of these ideas that I had, they're kind of just going into Kavaya instead.
We also all kind of agreed that like it would be best to just kind of put our energy towards making new things rather than spending more time on this, which is kind of funny because we're doing exactly that, just spending more time on this. This game came out 2 years ago.
Well, it's fun to dwell, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That answers the extras section bit. Maybe we should change it or something so that there isn't extra slots, so people don't think that they're like didn't do something right or something.
Let them dream.
Yeah. Another question from this person. Your game is a 100% positive rating on Steam right now. When you decided to remaster and release it, did you expect this kind of reaction? Uh,
Well,
I
I
don't
think
know.
a lot of the people that review. Oh, sorry, go for it, Mantha.
Oh. Well, what I was gonna say. Oh my god, I just moved my mic in a really bad way. Sorry. What I was gonna say is that I don't think we expected any kind of reaction, really. At least I didn't, because I don't know. We didn't particularly do much to the game for the Steam release. At least I didn't for the art, and I don't know. It's really pleasantly surprising that people liked it this much. Sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say basically the same thing, which is like I think that both with the original release and with the Steam release, you can't really. I don't think there was ever really like an expectation that people would react in like a certain way. It was just like Mary really wanted to do the Steam release, and I think Mentha did a really good job sprucing things up. So I feel like it was more of a labor of love than like an expectation that it would like bring some result. You know what I mean? But I also feel like that's like what the game was originally. I think we just kind of originally made it for VN Cup because it was a good thing to do. And then the fact that people have liked it so much is a pleasant surprise. I don't know. At least from my perspective.
People like the game on itch.io, so I was kind of expecting people to like it on Steam as well.
Yeah, I think a lot of the people that bought it have just been people from Itch.
I don't think so.
You
Like
think it's
not
different?
yeah, to judge from the Steam stats, a lot of our purchases were organic.
Huh.
Oh. Oh, that's cool to hear.
Yeah, I guess I always assumed it was like people coming over, but that is cool to hear.
Yeah. I think one of my biggest worries was whether or not people would think the game was like not worth the money.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think I'm gonna end up being like insecure about that always because I had like a grand vision in my head about the game's art, redoing all the art, not the backgrounds, but just like the sprites and adding new poses and whatnot. And I feel like I didn't do enough that I wanted, but it looks better. So I guess I'm proud in that aspect.
I think it looks a lot better, but maybe that's just my eye as like someone who saw it go from one thing to another. I don't know how much it actually ended up mattering in the end.
I just wanted
But
it to look a lot better, and the whole time I was making it, I was like, damn, this really needs to be worth the price point.
yeah, yeah, it felt like we had to make it worth it or something.
But I guess I remembered that, like, no one really needs to buy this game. This is their choice to support us, so yeah.
Yeah, I'm very grateful that everyone likes Hello Girl so much. It's given me a lot to like continue making stuff when I hear what like the game means to people and what it made them think.
Should I get to the next question? Do you want to add anything, Mara?
No.
Okay. Next question from Blue Dash was there was a lot of setup in this game and mysteries that didn't get fully addressed, which I think is completely fine, but I'm curious, has the bigger plan always been to expand upon the world, given that there is an upcoming game in the universe? I know this initially started as a game jam. Yeah, right? I mean,
Yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
hard to answer specifics without like showing the hand too much about what's to come, but
we are
some things
expanding
will
on
be
the world.
answered. Yeah, some things will be answered, other things won't be. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think that definitely Kavaya coming into it with the having read Hello Girl perspective will give you some things. I think you also don't have to have read Hello Girl, but I don't know. Yeah.
I think Kavaya will be more for the like people who want to like see the lore of this world and like know what's like what is the conflict like about and you know kind of like more political drama almost. Yeah, that's always something I wanted to do. Um, yeah, like kind of as I said earlier, like there was going to be more Rabbit Zero in Hello Girl, but it ended up like not. I don't know. I guess it felt too dramatic at the time. Like we were gonna make it very like kind of in your face. Like I remember we like wrote some phone call that never made it into the game. That was like about some base being like annihilated and something, and like Anna was just like listening to this like desperate call from someone.
Mm,
But
yeah.
that felt a bit like I don't want to do that to Anna. The poor girl.
She gets to see a small slice of the world, and that's already enough for her, I think. Next question from this person. I love Anna and Courier's relationship. Will there ever be future content with them, or do you think their story and life will now be on their own and out of sight? Mm,
Or the latter, I think. They've completed their arc and they have each other. And what they'll like get to do from now on, I think is like I don't know. I always like imagine they would be fine.
what the hell? Sorry. Call.
Incoming call.
It was Ibis's mom calling me again.
Oh. Um but yeah, I don't know. I really like open endings and I like not giving a definitive answer beyond like we solved the characters' arcs, right? Like Anna and Courier doesn't have to like feel listless anymore because they can like continue with each other, and I think that was the actual thing we wanted to say. I think their future isn't as ambiguous as ours. Like what's gonna happen in like 5 years, I can't really say, but it's looking pretty good right now. Well, I guess I think the world is on fire, but it's looking. I don't know. Things look okay relatively.
Last question from Emma Claire Landis. Hi, Ema team. I have a couple questions I'd like to ask. What did you learn throughout the process of working together on Hello Girl, and how does that differ from the mindset going into Kavaya Local Maximum? How was it wrangling so many people together, communicating with one another, and keeping things somewhat professional and organized without getting socially exhausted. Thank
That's really
we
funny.
we
you.
definitely got socially exhausted.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Like being fully candid. There were like sometimes where I walked out because I was so frustrated with like how hard things were and like how it didn't feel like it was coming together and just didn't feel like we were agreeing with each other at times.
Yeah.
Um, I did learn a lot from that experience though. Um, that's the cool part about like being under pressure, I guess, is you get pushed out of your comfort zone and you get to see like what your weaknesses are.
Yeah, I
Um,
think
yeah, QED.
that's not.
What?
Um, yeah, I think that like I don't know. With music, it was the first time I had done a soundtrack, so it was sort of like um, I don't know. I didn't think like there was that much friction from my perspective, really, but it's funny to think like keeping things professional and organized because I'm not sure I would say we were professional and organized. I'm not sure I would say that we were unprofessional or disorganized, but I don't think that that was like something I like kept at the forefront of my mind, you know?
We keep
Like
it
how to.
pretty casual, I think, like at least
Well,
between us three.
yeah, I was gonna say we were the only three that worked together in person. So I feel like it's pretty easy because we get along pretty well. I don't know.
I think for me
I
it
think
was. Oh, sorry.
no, go for it.
Oh, in the same way for Mara, her being her first time doing the soundtrack, it was the first time I worked on a collaborative project with somebody that was actually seen through to the end. Like, I've been on teams before that just kind of everything fell apart after a while, and I kind of stopped like trying to put things together because of that. But something about working with Mary and Mara made me want to see things through the end, and just the general like competitive aspect of VN Cup was what made us really, I guess, brought out the best in us. It kind of felt like working in an office with the pressure on us and stuff like that. So it was a little frustrating at some points, but it wasn't terrible. We were all pretty good at like voicing our concerns and working things out and listening to each other.
Yeah, I
I
think that like transparency in the process was like the biggest thing that I learned. Like, what are you thinking and feeling about stuff, and just like solving that and moving on, not getting like caught up on I don't know stupid like ego shit.
Yeah, definitely.
I think what Mentha said about the competitive aspect being a motivator was actually pretty big for me because like I think that like for some things it's like whatever if you accomplish your own project and or if you don't accomplish your own project it's sort of like well who would know if you dropped it, but I guess when it was like for the VN Cup it was like we got to show up, you know. Like I think that there was a like the deadline helped a lot in a certain way, like keep things pretty on the whatever. Like I think that there was definitely like a lot of not like pressure because I didn't ever feel like we were in danger of not making it, but it definitely did feel like there was some like external push to like we got to do this thing. Like it never felt like an option to like drop the game. So then when you run into questions, there's never like or run into problems or run into conflicts, there's never like a give up option on the table. So I think then you just kind of like learn to figure it out. And it felt pretty easy because like fortunately these two are pretty great to work with. So yeah. I don't know. But it was fun experience. Like I think it was easier than I expected working with others. I think that like I expected it to be harder or more clunky and it wasn't. So that was nice.
I think what helped was that I think we had about 2 points during that week or 10 days actually in which we all just we pulled up like the plot outline on the TV and just kind of looked at it and talked about it. The first time we did that, we like more or less figured out the game's plot like right then and there from start to finish, and that was cool.
I think that was the first day you were here, Mentha. I think you like literally got off the plane and then we like did that meeting like 3 hours later, and then like we felt like we had the whole game ironed in our heads at least, you know? So it was kind of
Mm-hmm.
funny. It was really addictive to feel like we had like such a like momentum so quickly.
Yeah, I really love that wave when you're just like, I don't know, you can like visualize the whole thing and you just like want to run to your computer and just like put it all down before it's gone.
Oh yeah, we've been kind of chasing that feeling for a while now.
Yeah. Yeah, we gotta have some like, I feel like just good weeks of effort with Kavaya, and I feel like Kavaya is gonna turn out and like it's similar.
Thank you for the questions, by the way. That was the last of the long questions, but
Yeah. And thank you for your lovely Steam review as well. I I thought it was really nice. Thanks for shouting us out.
and we'll still be answering more questions, but we'll mostly just be, I guess, like watching the game go along and just kind of talking.
Yeah. Um yeah, Hello Girl is not like it does not take place in a particular real country. But yeah, our inspirations were like, yeah, like Germany, Austria, Hungary, and a little bit of Japan and America as well. Um, yeah, some of the backgrounds were like painted with like reference of um, it was like Wyoming, right? Like
It
southwestern Wyoming.
was Western North Dakota, actually,
Oh, it was
specifically.
North Dakota. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
because there are some parts of that state on that side that are like kind of very hilly and mountainy almost, but not really. And I don't know, I thought that was really cool. I like the look of the US around that area.
Yeah, the big like rolling mountains and stuff. I still
Hmm.
I still have never been there.
It's
Cool.
it's pretty cool. A lot of this was just inspired based on like the I guess personally inspired based on the road trips that Mary and Ibis and I have taken like over the years. There's so much of the US that's just like so fucking beautiful.
I need to take Mary to the Midwest at some point. It's screwed up. She's never seen the plains. IMO.
When I lived in Illinois, she kind of went over there once, but I didn't like take her out that much. She also just spent half the time in Chicago, so not really Midwest, but
Yeah.
the
We
plains
gotta
are
go.
so cool.
We gotta go to Nothing World.
Hmm.
We gotta go to Kansas.
I still have not been to Kansas like ever. I went there once for a wedding when I was a kid, but
There's not really a reason to go. IMO.
yeah,
It's not bad, but it's not that good either.
yeah, I got that feeling. It's just kind of like a nothing zone.
If you've seen Nebraska, you've seen Kansas. If you've seen Iowa, you've seen Nebraska, etc., etc.
Hmm.
But yeah, this is I think the Japan part. Like you can see in this scene, like they said like tatami, like look at their table. You know, I think that that was a little like I don't know. You wouldn't have a seat like that in America, so I think there was like a little bit of Japan and gamut, but
Hmm.
I don't know. And they drink like tea.
Rabbit Zero also like lives in a place that resembles Japan because they like have idols
Oh yeah.
and they
Oh
have they
yeah,
have they have Konbini.
I've been to Canada. Swimming art. I went to I went to Squamish. It was cool.
Hmm. I think Mary's been too, but not me.
Oh yeah, you went to Montreal.
Which meaning of idol is used in the opening? Yeah, it's more like a semi-modern definition of idol, but more like in the realms of how it's treated in like East Asia. I would say around like 1980s was like singular singer with a very clean image and who is very much adored, that type of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking like Perfect Blue type of dealio. Somewhere in that world. But maybe you guys are on a different page.
I was definitely thinking, yeah, like 60s, 70s, like 80s idol culture, or like a kind of burgeoning, like where that was just like the like form of kind of pop. Um,
And you have
I don't know.
Japan style idols without TV. Yeah, I guess it doesn't really make that much sense. Also, we don't really I don't remember if we even like agreed upon whether TV exists in this world.
Maybe it exists in the northern provinces. Maybe they're more technologically advanced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the anachronisms of the Hello Girl world are slightly visible at times, but that's part of what makes it fun.
We kind of just took what we liked.
Like how the
Yeah.
fact that like the entire opening scene is like a VCR, but then they like don't even have like telephones that can be run automatically. Things like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
How do you get the crowd? You take them out in the cornfields. There's like they dress Anna up in like a frilly little dress, and then Courier plays one of her phonographs really loud, and she just kind of like dances around, and the local townspeople all yell and jeer and drink Bush Light, and then they go home.
Yeah,
That's what happens.
yeah, the like 50 people in the village with like a Unity asset store, like fist pumping animation.
Yeah, it's the Guitar Hero 3 crowd, you know. They're all standing there and jumping up and down, and then it's Anna kind of like twirling around. She doesn't really sing, but she kind of just does her thing.
You know that one part where they have like a live show in the like David Byrne movie?
Yeah, yeah,
It's like that.
it is like that.
That's what they're having they're having a hoedown. That's what they're having.
Yeah, I would go to a Gamut hoedown. That would go crazy.
Oh yeah,
What are
the
they?
thing about the rifles. Let me try to find a picture of it. I think I just straight up traced like an image of a Japanese paratrooper rifle from World War II. Looks like this. Oh, it disappeared. I don't know what happened to it.
Pointed to Courier's head.
It keeps disappearing when I drag it onto the screen. I don't know how that happens. Here's maybe another image that will not disappear.
Hello Girl would have gone real different if Courier had a rifle.
Yeah, I don't know. OBS is just acting weird. But if you look up like Japanese paratrooper rifle, you see it. I chose that gun because it looks cute when it's broken in half. There wasn't really much thought behind it. The Gamut military is mostly based on just random bits about Japanese fashion and military history and stuff. We didn't actually think too much about any of that.
I was watching this Let's Play of like some Japanese person who was like reading the game with a translator. They pointed out that like why are the soldiers wearing like seifuku?
It's cute.
And I was like, yeah, you're right.
Because I don't know, I was into Blue Archive at the time, and I thought the way that they like designed the outfits in that game is really adorable. It's just very like contradictive of these girls are shooting each other in the head, but they also just wear like school uniforms with like elbow pads and knee pads and shit. I thought that was good.
Yeah,
Well, I
it
also
kind of
think
just
it's
makes them look like they're little kids.
Well, I think
Which
it's
is
funny because I think it's like Gamet's gonna lose the war so bad. Like, dude, they have like sailor uniforms and like twin tails and helmet are the soldiers and Yuno's a soldier, and then the NP has like psychotic brain death technology, and it's like, oh man, these guys are. I think Gambit is not long for the world. It's not gonna
Well,
turn out too good for our girls.
I guess I never like really communicated this with you guys, but in my mind, the twins, their squadron, they were just kind of a part of a like they weren't really originally supposed to be like on the front lines. They were more like you know, like supporting, like, oh shit, we're running out of people, so we have to like have the kids help out too. Um, which is something that, like, you know, I don't know, that like happened during like the Finno-Russian War, um, where they just had a lot of people just like help out, even though they weren't formally part of the military necessarily.
Oh, huh.
What if Courier was Finnish?
Another
Could be.
thing about the uniforms is that like the NP has much more serious uniforms, and like here's one of the concept arts that we have for Kavaya. These are just, hold on. Let's see if it'll disappear again when I drag it onto the screen. Some of the characters we have so far. I don't know, they have a lot more serious uniforms. These are not final by any means at all, but yeah, they're not wearing Seifuku.
I want to see them wrestle Helmet and Twin Tails. CQC, hand-to-hand combat.
The secret is you can win the war with aura if you farm it enough. That's kind of what I feel like they end up doing. Oh,
Should
yeah,
put
I
the
put
art
on
up
this.
a bit.
I deleted it
you-
so quick.
Yeah, you just leave it up on the side or something.
Yeah, some really rough concept stuff from Kavaya. That's about all we can show about the game because not much of it is very much is complete at all.
Yeah, there isn't a lot of art yet. We're still filing on the story.
3,
2, 1.
There's so much cool shit in the Kavaya folder I want to show but can't.
Okay, everyone will just have to be patient.
Yeah, I'll just have to keep teasing them about it, I guess. This game's gonna take a while, for real.
No strange dogs for sight.
Why is
Oh,
this
I
in the
don't like
reference pictures folder? I don't know
I
why
hate
that's
the
there.
dentist.
The
Disingenuous
wretched little
behavior.
tube.
Very good commentary stream where we just kind of cover the screen and bullshit. Get rid of that. We'll hide this for now, but if anyone wants to see that, just ask.
Is it fair to say we will learn a good bit more about what was going on in the military base in the upcoming game? Well, it takes place in a different part of the world. It doesn't actually take place in Gamut. There will be kind of there will be a more like kind of overarching thing that like explains a lot of the nature of the conflicts. That girl kind of looks like Neko arc. Lol.
Erica, do the twins have a clear idea what's on the line in the war? Or are they just along for the ride? I don't think the twins have a clear idea about anything.
Yeah.
I think the twins are just. I think the twins are like literally what happens when you give children guns. Like, I think that's not any deeper than that.
It was also written with like a specific type of like soldier in mind who thinks that being in the military is really cool, but are kind of like act like children about it.
Eunosia Moonbeam got her name. I think we were trying to think of like the most Chuny name ever because we knew from her character type that she was going to be at Chuny. And so we were trying to think that it would be something really ridiculous.
Yeah, Unoja doesn't mean anything. I just thought it was a really cool name, and I think somebody told me the word for like north or south or something in Russian, and I kind of like twisted it a little bit into a name. Um, and then we were trying to think of last names. I remember specifically saying like, what should her last name be? And then Mara said Moonbeam, and I like laughed at it at first, but then I actually said that's what it is now. It's real.
I don't even know if that's her real last name or if she's just like, being a little bit shoony.
Yeah, her real name is like Unoja Smith, but she didn't think that was cool enough. She was like, that doesn't suggest that I might have dark powers, so I'm gonna say, um, yeah, Moonbeam. I support it. I think
Sick ass name.
Helmet and Twin Tails didn't even get recruited from propaganda. I think they got drafted. I think that they like literally had no choice.
Yeah.
I don't think Helmet and Twin Tails are like. I think that if in their normal circumstances, if they went to the recruitment office, they would be like, "Dang, that's crazy. You should I don't know, go back to school or something. Have you considered becoming a cashier? You know, that's what the recruitment officer would tell you if you're Helmet and Twin Tails. Dog ate the passport. I swear it said Moonbeam.
Was the text speed like all right for you guys? I don't know if you're following along with that at all. I would imagine you're not watching this if you haven't played the game already, but it is cool to see.
If this is your first time seeing Hello Girl, please turn off the stream right now.
Anna's
Poor
little
Anna.
sad face.
I know, it's so heartbreaking. She really does believe so hard in Clara.
She was kind of the only person she had
Mm-hmm.
in her life. Oh, we're getting this scary.
Scary?
When they go to the base. This was a new bit. This wasn't in the itch release.
No. I think you haven't seen a lot of the stuff that I added, honestly.
No, I've seen all of it. Like I did a whole playthrough of it, but like I think I have just read everything that you added as new, but kind of didn't read the other stuff that you tweaked.
Oh, okay. Amora's gone.
Bye, Mara.
Maybe she lost Steam.
Steam. Yeah. Let me move the things.
I have not seen that movie.
Scoots this over. The text is too fast.
Wow,
to
that's
read.
a...
I'll put it to 20.
Oh god, the synopsis for this book is like crazy.
What book?
Johnny got his gun.
Oh.
Joe Bonham, a young American soldier serving in World War I, awakens in a hospital bed after being caught in the blast of an exploding artillery shell. He gradually realizes that he has lost his arms, legs, and all of his face, including his eyes, ears, nose, and teeth and tongue, but that his mind functions perfectly, leaving him a prisoner in his own body. Jesus Christ.
Holy shit.
What Metallica's one is about?
I wouldn't know.
You ever heard? Dude, Mary never heard this song either. I was like, this is a Guitar Hero song. Everybody should know it.
You know who
And
you
then
should
I was, like,
ask? I
playing.
think Ibis would know, because for some reason she likes Metallica.
Well, it's just like I don't even know how to describe this. This is a cultural touchstone.
Isaac.
I can't say anything about it. But it's basically about that. that process
Hmm.
of becoming a shell. But it has the cool part where it's like
Uh, I want to become a like a quad amputee shell like that. That's horribly disfigured, but I have like cool ass psychic powers.
Yeah, you
we
could
can arrange
float.
for that, I think.
Oh, awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
Am, am, get like a quad amputee that floats around.
that'd be so sick.
Magical powers.
Maybe the next maybe Kavaya will still be guitar music, but it'll be like Metallica.
Oh hell yes.
Wouldn't that be really funny if it all sounded like Abe Mujika or something? Or Metallica.
What if we
And
did
it's
that for the
like
opening?
I wanted to do that actually. I want to have an opening that's like totally ridiculous and then like doesn't actually sound at all like the rest of the soundtrack, but it's kind of a lot to do in practice, so we'll see how it turns out. I
I
don't think
think
you can like really plan that sort of thing ahead of time.
I think a lot of VNs do that type of thing where they have like a crazy ass intro, and the rest of the game is generally mild.
The problem is I just don't know how to program like realistic sounding metal drums. If I did, I feel like I would just do that.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I'll just learn. I don't know. It'd be fun.
Yeah, Hello Girl did that and it was pretty cool.
No,
Have you
I
guys
think
heard
the
about
opening in
this?
Hello Girl sounds like the rest of the game.
Audio wise, I guess, yeah. But the intro, I guess, really makes it feel like it's gonna be a different game.
Oh, the intro. I was thinking of the like title screen music.
Yeah. When we were saying opening, we were kind of meant like an animated opening that's like a minute 30 seconds, that type of thing.
Yeah, I was thinking like yeah, I don't know.
Oh, by the way,
There's a lot of places you could go with that.
the bits where they kind of are just like this with their ears, top of their head poking out. It's really cute. I like that. I like that you did that, Mary.
I'm so fucking smart.
I like to imagine that the depot building is Sen's fortress.
They have traps in there.
Yeah, they're gonna go get hit by like a pendulum and get killed by giant snakes. That's why you don't see the secretary. It's because she's actually a giant snake with a spear, with a lightning spear.
Mm.
And then they get crushed by a boulder.
I love Sun's Fortress so much.
Sen's fortress is so funny. Learn metal drum program. I will. It'll happen one day. Soon.
I think this photo is of a train station in Japan or something.
Do you think they have baseball on the Hello Girl? Oh wait, they canonically have baseball.
Yeah,
There's
they
a
do.
whole phone call about it.
There's a baseball team, even.
Yeah, I was well, I was yeah, I was what are they called? The pencil beaks?
Pencil beaks, yeah.
Who came up with that?
I did.
What's a pencil beak, Mentha?
Nothing. It kind of doesn't mean anything. I just was trying to think of something that wasn't just like an animal, but also sounded like it could be a real thing. Maybe it's a. I mean, it's probably a bird.
Yeah, maybe it's like a really weird like I was imagining like a heron or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder if like because I was looking at Courier's hat in that last one, I was like, that's a baseball hat. But I was like, do they call it a baseball hat? And then I was like, yeah, they have baseball. I feel like Courier would be good at baseball.
We should make the secretary in Kavaya look like the same as the secretary in Hello Girl.
Yeah, like change your glasses color.
Same exact sprite.
Yeah.
Same exact silhouette. It's just that she's drawn now.
Oh, that would be funny actually.
Also, somebody asked about the secretary having a having a sprite in the re-release when there's a bunch of questions that somebody asked or that people asked on Neospring. And I think we just like we're going to do it at some point, but then with adding any sprite, you need to add in like more than a couple of emotions and parts and stuff like that, and I felt like it wasn't worth it for somebody who's in like a 2 or 3 minute long scene, you know. But I like to think that she's also just like the most. Oh, I didn't notice that you did like a little thing right there. That's so cute. You made her shove her away.
Puppet show.
We should put Battler in Savaya.
Battler?
Yeah, like from
Oh my
Umineko.
god, yeah, with bonus scene with Battler in it.
No, I think he should be the main character. It's like an Alice in Wonderland type scenario where he like falls down a weird door in the mansion, and then like when he wakes up, he has like bunny ears, and then he has to like live in their world now.
This is like a mock-up. If he was in the game, we can just kind of have him like right there. Just, maybe that's a bit big, but yeah, I think he looks good there.
Put him, yeah, you just put him next to the others.
Yeah, there we go.
I've never read Umineko.
I don't know either, but I like his kind of swag. I think the cross zipper is hard.
Wait, can you put him back up?
No.
I need to like take a screenshot of this.
Fine, hold on, I have to reposition him again. Pretty okay. Now make him cry. Oh, I didn't realize Mara came back. I have to update the text again.
What happened?
Hmm? He's been here for like a while.
I mean, I'm updating the layout.
Oh, did I not bounce for a little bit?
You did, but I like moved the text around above our heads.
Maryland Parsley.
Maryland Parsley. We should all be named after herbs.
Memphis already like named after a herb.
That's what I'm saying, and then you could become parsley, and then I was trying to think of what herb I would be named after.
New CG.
Walsweed.
So what if you're named Milkweed?
Mara Milkweed.
Oka just said you have a cute accent, Mary.
Mara Mildew.
Who's saying have a cute accent?
Mocha.
Oh my god. I think Mocha has a cute accent.
I like her voice a lot.
You can instantly tell that she's German.
New CG. Anna's so worried. Look at her. Oh no.
I like this one a lot.
Yeah, this one's really good.
The emotional Anna.
Oh, accidentally fast forward it. There we go.
Their bunny ears are inside.
Oh, that's true. That's true. None of the people in the crowd had bunny ears.
Because they're not really that special, I guess. I don't know. I actually didn't
ears.
like even think about it.
They don't get to have ears. They're not special enough.
I think I forgot to add ears to the general sprites until like very late.
Maybe it's like when you become a foot soldier, they shave your ears off, kind of like how they give you a buzz cut in real life.
They just cut them off with like garden clippers.
Yeah, they cut your ears off. They use big shears. Like in RuneScape, you know, like when there's the quest that's right by the lumbridge where you have to shear all the sheep. It's like that.
I like that you like related it to RuneScape rather than the real life act of shearing sheep.
I thought in real life that dairy cows were black and white and meat cows were brown, and I thought that's how it was in real life because that's the way it is in RuneScape until like 6 months ago. And then I think Mary told me that it wasn't really like that, and I was like, "What?" Oh, that was
There's no way you believe this.
No,
Yeah,
I
you're
genuinely, maybe it
fucking with
wasn't
me.
you, but somebody told me that, and I was like, what are you talking about? The black and white ones are the ones with milk. They were like, no, that's just
I
RuneScape.
Wow.
I used to think that like white chicken like laid white eggs and brown chicken laid the brown eggs.
That
Is
was
that
more
not true?
reasonable, I guess.
Yeah, but it's not that way.
I guess I never realized why eggs are different colors. Is there any difference between white and brown eggs?
I don't think so.
Because in my head, I always thought it was like white and brown rice, and so I imagined brown eggs were like somehow healthier.
They have more poop on them.
Yeah, it's a full grain egg. I don't know anything about eggs because I don't eat them, so.
Great commentary, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, the eggs aren't actually bald. They have to shave them at the factory.
It'd be such a good job.
Yeah, the egg shaver.
What about Easter eggs? Where do those come from?
Come from the bunny.
Uh,
The Easter bunny.
Band of Brothers. I've never
That thing
seen
you
Band
said
of Brothers.
about cutting off ears reminded me of that one Twitter post that was like Blady like took off his headphones on stage and then he had like cut his ears off. There were just like red holes.
Yeah, what was the post? It was like I had a dream. I went and saw Blady in concert, and he was wearing Beats headphones the whole time, and then he took the headphones off mid song, and there's just red holes.
And someone next to me like like threw up.
That's why Helmet's helmet is like that. She actually doesn't have ears under there, but the helmet was made for somebody that would have. And she keeps the helmet all the time on because she's insecure about her appearance without ears.
A little smug face.
Band of Brothers. I don't think I've actually consumed that much like war-related media other than like the big war movies, and the only one I can think of in that department is Apocalypse Now.
I've seen Band of Brothers. Gut-wrenching shit.
Which Belatra deck does each Hello Girl character use?
I
Never
saw the
played
sequel
Belatra.
to the one that's about the Pacific War. That one's also really crazy. I haven't even played Belatra.
Never played Belatra.
I thought you
Yeah,
had like a
no.
week where you were playing it like nonstop, or maybe that was someone else I know. Game name drop.
That's true. They do call her a hello girl.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Anna being mistaken for a general.
I just always think that's really silly and probably more just comedic than anything, but people think it's like very I mean, I hope they think it's silly, but I hope they don't think it's like too out of the ordinary.
It's one of the more criticized moments, I think. It's like being unrealistic. Um,
I mean,
and
it's stupid, but yeah.
yeah, I get why people feel that way, and I guess I don't know. I guess I see it. Um, but I don't know. I also wanted to portray the military as being like really incompetent.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I
that was
guess it
kind
kind
of
of
what we were
works
going
out.
for.
Board games. Anna definitely plays solitaire. I feel like Courier is like lost all our money playing poker once and would never play card games again. I don't know if anybody else plays card games. I think Maillard would sit out.
I was like picturing Mallard as like a compulsive gambler just now.
Maillard plays like Hearthstone or something. Maillard plays like the worst game ever. Maillard plays like
She plays like solitaire mahjong on her phone.
no, that's Anna. Anna would play solitaire. I totally agree with that.
Are the files on the table like experiment log 6238? No, but they use an image that I sampled a bit on experiment log. But it has
Why
nothing to
someone
do with
noticed
it.
that?
Yeah. It's actually my favorite image. It's called meat.png. Hold on, let me find it.
I was gonna ask if they were
I like
just
that
looking at
I like
photos
that
of
they're
meat.
all meat.png. Like I think when I talked to you about this CG, I was like, oh, like make it like machines and meat, and you were like all meat.
Oh shit, it just took up the entire screen, sorry.
Oh my god, Jesus!
Yeah, that's meat.png. It's really cool.
Fucking that's horrible.
Meat, just kidding.
I hate looking at that.
It's so gross, I'm sorry.
Dude, that shit was like my life just turned into Sayano Uta for a second. Just scared the shit out of me. I had the whole game like full screen on the stream.
Sorry.
ARG.
Certified meat moment. New CG.
Yeah, I need more images that are just like wall to wall piles of meat if anybody can find them. I can't find any.
Who else hungry as hell now?
I don't even know what kind of meat it is.
This looks like organs.
It's raw.
Raw meat.
It's
Yeah.
raw.
Yeah, nice one.
Am I
Let me
wrong?
see. Gross. Yeah, it looks like meat.
That was my sister for a sec.
I wanted to see if I could tell what kind it was, but I couldn't.
She couldn't tell
Hi,
what kind of meat
Sylvie.
it was.
We can actually hear her. She's like coming out.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she's just over here like right next to me, playing Animal Crossing.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Full screen meat event.
Do you think Corey ever would crash the truck?
Career crashing out.
Yeah, what would it
But
take
literally.
for Courier to crash out?
I think like if her job interfered in any part with like being able to let Anna do her thing, like she would probably be very mad at that. I feel like Courier doesn't have a very high capacity for bullshit, but yeah, you know.
Yeah, but I feel like Courier is also the sort of person that would like be really stable like
Oh yeah,
all the
definitely.
time. But then like one night, like 10 years into the marriage, like just playing Nickelback really loud, she like drink like a bunch of beer and like
No.
punches a hole in the garage wall and then like crashes the car into a telephone pole and has to like limp home at like 3 in the morning. And
Yeah,
Mama's
she's
like,
definitely
"What'd
like
you
that.
do, Courier?" And she's like, "I don't even know what I'm doing this for." I think that would happen.
That's good.
That was always my headcanon for like what Hello Girl 2 would be like. I think they wouldn't be able to handle the stability. Like I don't think Courier would be able to handle their real life. I think she would get bored and start acting out. I think it would actually go really horrible for them.
Honestly, yeah.
But that's just me. Look at this photograph. You know what I mean?
Something about hearing like Nickelback lyrics recited just like puts like pain in my chest.
This part I'm always pretty proud of being able to like cut out a fucking like stock photo of a truck and overlay it as a sort of like prop piece.
Yeah, the end result was pretty nice.
I think it's a clever way of doing a lot with very little. We didn't really have to move the sprites at all, even.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a
I
sprite layer.
we made Anna like lower, I think.
Yeah, there's like 5 layers in this actually, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, the back
There's
window is
something.
also its own layer. So it's back window, sprites, front of the truck, and then there's the background
And
as
then
well.
background. Yeah.
Then you can just slightly see the background. That's also just like a reused one.
And Anna's funny little smile there. I love it so much.
She's so naive. She's like, well, they'll forget about it, right?
Look at her.
It's like when you get in trouble at school and the like teacher yells at you and then you come in the next day to school and you're like, does everybody remember? Are they gonna yell at me again? Does everybody hate me now?
You guys heard about Doki Doki Literature Club before? No, I don't know what that is.
It was the first VN I ever played, I think. Which is sad.
Was it really?
Yeah. I didn't know what a VN was at the time.
The first VN I ever played was Fate Stay Night. And then the
Really?
second VN I ever played was Good Morning as a Social Construct.
That's
That one's pretty
crazy.
bad.
I thought it slapped actually, but speak for yourself.
I think my first one was Sayano Uta, which I think is really funny because I read that at an age I really shouldn't have read it at.
Until it had a profound effect on you.
I didn't even like it that much.
Oh.
I just thought it was like cool because there was like violence and gore and scary, but yeah.
What's the 4chan VN, Erica?
Oh, Katao Shoujo. Yeah. I think that was like my second VN.
I think Hello Girl was the third VN I ever read. If we're counting it as having read it. Snout outs. Skin like tree bark, face like a dog.
I don't know why I wrote that, but it's mean.
I think it kind of kicks ass. It sounds like a blues song to me. You know, like Bad to the Bone? Like,
Yeah.
snout like tree bark, face like a dog. You know, something like that.
It can be corrected, but cooperation is critical.
God, shut up. These stream sequences were fun to write. Well, not really, but like, I don't know. For some reason, I have a weird thing where it's very easy for me to write like stuff like that, which is why Experiment Log ended up where it did.
Yeah, you did really. I think you wrote a lot of the. I don't know, Mentha. I feel like whenever you wrote something for the game, it communicated like the emotion of what I think was like sort of simmering under the surface for a lot of the time, like really directly. Like I think of like Yuno's letter and then like the dreams you wrote and stuff. Like I think all like we're able to like punch through the air of the game. You know what I mean? Like there's all this like so much of the game is like hidden behind, you know, like people's cloudedness or isolation, and moments like that, it's like where it like punches through into directness, and I think it adds like so much. I really like those parts.
I'm glad you do.
The book that got blown up.
Wasn't that Johnny's Got a Gun?
Yeah, I think it was a movie. Maybe it was a gun. Oh no, yeah, it was a novel. Yeah. Johnny got his gun.
Oh, I
Those
forgot to
biscuits
hit.
look so good.
Forgot to hit auto for some reason. I'm just making you guys stare at the biscuits this whole time.
I need to eat them.
I don't know why I did so well in drawing these and nothing else in the game looks this good, but I needed to make the food look good. It's very hard to draw.
Anime food looks so good.
Yeah. These aren't biscuits, these are scones, by the way, with like, I guess they do look like biscuits though. They look like those biscuits that come in a tube.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of like the Pillsbury ones that you put in the oven.
Have you guys ever had scones before?
Yeah.
I made scones before.
Oh,
But they
that's
were
what
the
they look like.
triangle ones. They didn't look like this.
Oh.
Those are called
like
cookies in England.
What are they doing in the UK? It's a
We don't acknowledge the sovereignty of the UK on this stream. I'm just kidding. We actually do.
Harry is so lucky to taste Anna cooking. Yeah, you're right. It's really cute. I would love to have Anna's cooking.
English muffins. What do they call English muffins in England? Do they just call them muffins?
in France, they're just known as fries.
In Antarctica, it's just known as cream.
Oh, they are just muffins, apparently.
Oh, is that actually true?
Yeah,
What do they call muffins then? What do they call muffins in England? Scones.
Scones?
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm trying to figure out what a muffin is.
They call them bumpkins.
What?
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 Excuse me?
Bobbly wobblies or some shit like
Yeah.
Oh, this is what a crumpet is. Yo, crumpets look crazy good.
I don't actually know what a crumpet looks like.
It's like basically half of a English muffin. It looks like to me, but maybe I'm wrong. Or like it's the bottom half of a muffin.
It's like a thing with holes in it.
Yeah, it looks yumming. They call muffins American muffins? That's genius.
There's a lot of focus on food in Hello Girl.
It's, you gotta stay alive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I don't
I
think
feel
it
like
was
I think a lot about food.
Yeah,
in
I don't think it
general.
was a direct result of that like week we spent developing together, but like the end of the day when we would just like cook something together and talk over the food, that was really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, they got all these
That-
photos of pancakes on YouTube. I mean,
Was
on,
that when we made nachos, or was that last time you were here?
I don't think that was during that week.
We
No,
need to
we
make
made-
Mary nachos again.
Those are so good
Yeah, Mary Nacho's kind of bang.
with the radishes on them.
Yeah.
I'm getting hungry now. It's like super overate curry, and now I'm hungry again somehow.
I'm gonna make the world's biggest pancake. I'm gonna make a pancake so big you can use it as a quilt. We're gonna go to sleep in the pancake.
I would love that.
Do they have McMuffins in England?
Call McBiscuits there.
Make
You serious?
American biscuits.
American biscuits.
Meat.jpg and muffins. Oh my god. So yummy.
It's funny how like you can see how short Yuno is just by like looking at this CG. Like
Yeah, true.
she, she's clearly is like he's like barely reaching up to Anna's neck.
Yuna's brain right now is like, holy crap, I'm actually doing it. Oh my god, I'm so badass. I bet I look so cool right now.
This was so much fun to draw. I think I like finished this in like 20 minutes flat just because I was so excited to try. Ah, that's so cute.
This is Yuri. That's true.
I have some really messed up ideas about love, dude. This is not Yuri.
What do you mean? It's two girls touching each other on screen and one of them is crying from emotional affect. How is that not Yuri?
Hmm.
Have you considered being accepting of all forms of love?
Yeah, sorry, I was being phobic of something. I don't know what.
You're being violence phobic.
Girls hitting each other is Yuri, even if they really hate each other. This CG.
Yeah.
I think this was special request to Mary. She just said like you should have hunched over looking at or looking at Anna really scary. I was like, you got it. Say no more.
Oh, if anyone can draw like a scary, like bloody girl, it's you.
Are you or are you not with the like Shorty thinks she's in the FBI?
You have the right to remain silent.
New pose. She's got
That
hands.
one is so good. She's so cute.
She's so small. This pose makes her
Yeah.
look so
Yeah.
small. I never realized it.
Not intimidating at all. You're that small.
She is so
Active ender.
grabby.
Yeah.
She's like the grabber.
Grabby hands. Actually, this for reference on this one, I had my roommate back then like take a photo of me holding a knife doing that exact pose. I mean, that's how I get a lot of my pose references anyway, but I just thought it was funny.
There's like a post of me like holding a broom that you like used as a reference for like someone holding a rifle for Kavaya.
No, it was the giant pencil that your roommate had in the living room.
Oh yeah, it was the oversized pencil.
And also for the knife to the neck scene, I had Mara and Mary do like a thing where Mara's holding like a marker up to Mary's neck. I needed that for reference. And it worked out
That's
because they're
true.
similarly have similar height.
Yeah, I'm 4'6", just like you know.
A bit was added to this scene too.
What bit?
Just like I know that you like fluffed up the text a little bit, I think, of like what does here and stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I made it so that like Anna's like trying to explain herself like very frantically. Like because she's like because doesn't like buy her explanation immediately, but then pretty clearly like, Anna lives here.
Yeah.
The mouth.
I love this smile.
Does Yuno
Funny mouth like slime.
also have idle ambitions? I think Yuno would like not. She would be like, idols are stupid. I don't care about the commercial BS. But then like when her friends became idols, she would be like, like then they would be like, oh okay, well Anna and Courier, you can come over here. This is where the tent with all the ice cream is. And then would be like, oh my god, I need to become an idol. She would do it for the clout, basically, is what I'm saying. I don't think she really cares about anything. She just wants to, like, make herself heard in some way.
I think she only really like cared about conspiracies and stuff after she was wronged. I don't know if she had any ideas like that prior.
Yeah, I wonder what
Like,
Yuno was like before the trauma.
I think she was really like just normal, but like, you know, a lot of things just happened to her that made her like
Snap.
more and more unstable until eventually she just like snapped.
Does it count as a conspiracy if it's real? Not if everybody else doesn't think it's real, I guess.
Do you think they would interview Yuno's family on the news? And be like, and they'd be like going around to find her high school classmates and be like, she was such a nice girl. You know, she was like kind of quiet in class, but I didn't think anything was wrong with her.
Like they
And then
like
it's
what they do with school shooters.
or just like anybody that has like something like horribly traumatic in public happen to them, and they're always like, "Did you see any signs of this happening?" You know, and they'd be like, "No, she was."
Yeah.
I remember we had math class together, and she was always really nice to me. You know, I don't know.
Dream part. Kind of want to turn the volume up.
I don't have the chair there for.
I'll be right back.
The chair? I don't know.
Yeah, go back to Anna's room.
It's a chair.
Yeah, but like what she's, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, woke up. Oh, yeah, I guess reading. That makes sense. Because I was like, it's my Saturday. Time to wake up and sit in the chair.
That was the best stock photo I could find. That's a story of like why a lot of backgrounds look very weird and inconsistent with their stock photos.
I feel like inconsistent. That's the shit. I mean, I just like literally never noticed the chair until right now for some reason.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, what would Anna do in the chair? She's alone. Yeah, it's for Corey reading a bedtime story. I like that. That's actually cute. I feel like Clara would read Anna bedtime stories.
That's so cute.
That is really cute. Yeah, and then Anna wouldn't want to get rid of the chair because she'd be like, one day when Clara comes back, she can read me another bedtime story.
Punching the wall.
Punching the wall. Yeah.
What does
she
she
do when the phone's calling?
Reads books. That's literally probably it. I mean,
I don't know what else she would do.
takes walks, read books, goes to the little town and probably like window shops, you know.
Yeah, I don't think Anna knows about like vices. She wouldn't have the idea of like, oh, I can go play cards or I can go drink beer or, you know, something. Like she wouldn't do that. She didn't even know that's a thing she can do. So I think yeah, she would probably just read books and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think Anna wants like comforts like that are important to her. I think she wants the burrow, you know? She wants to live in her little rabbit burrow. That's what she likes. I don't think it means she's simple, but it means that like I've had tinnitus since I was 5, so I don't know what silence is like.
Oh no.
Yeah. But it's probably quiet there. Mentha, you ever play the Call of Duty campaign? Like in any Call of Duty game?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know how like when they throw a grenade right by you and then the sounds like and your like screen like blurs out for a second, you know, and you go like like when you get flashbang. That's like that.
Yeah.
It's like all the time.
Oh really? That fucking blows.
No, it's more like well, I was joking. It's not really like
Well,
that.
I know
But
that
I'm saying, like,
tinnitus is a little bit like that.
Well, it is like that, but it's really like far away, so it's not that big of a deal. You don't ever notice it actually.
Yeah, if there's like sound in the room, I guess you probably wouldn't notice.
Yeah. I think that's what like Ronka will feel all the time. Ronka's like perpetually flashbanged by life.
God, I can't wait
Rabbit
to
Zero,
write
maybe.
like Ronka being weird.
Ronka's gonna be a funny girl. I guess this. I have the stream muted actually.
Yeah, this is
I like everything we've been doing like for her recently.
Mhm.
I wish I could share, but I really shouldn't.
Ronka's the main character of Kavaya, by the way, if you don't know who we're talking about.
It's-
Probably the best scene in the game, I would say. I just now realized Mala Tofu is Mar. That's a
You thought
cute
I was
name.
just some rando the whole time?
I wasn't paying too much attention to people's names, and I like thought it at first, but I didn't think it actually was you.
Mm-hmm.
Good name. During the scene, how does Mallard respond to this? Like, just close the phone or sleep already? I think Mallard is like, well, this was like a dream world. So,
Hillard never would care about the phone.
yeah.
She wouldn't even notice.
She would just be like, "What?"
What?
She'd be like, "Oh, that
Hang
thing's
up,
never
yeah.
rang before. I wonder if something's broken." This is the one I was talking about earlier. This is the one that I think is the like Ice Dancer sound effects. So shouts out to Blade E for that one.
I love the phone
out.
beep on the beat for this. It's really cool.
Mm-hmm. The phone beep on the beat is actually the same as the one that's the... There's the other one, the one that's called Always on the Damn Phone in the soundtrack. The melody in that is actually the same sample.
Oh,
Um, but I think it's because like Mary, when I like first started working on the soundtrack, sent me a bunch of like phone sample sounds, and I was like, cool, I'll do something with this. And I actually didn't do that much with it because most of the soundtrack ended up being guitar, but those were the two songs I got used on. You cooked so hard on this scene, Mary.
Yeah.
you think we're gonna read the epilogue? Probably not. I mean,
I don't know. I'm kind of losing steam. I'm like, I don't know. I don't think I would survive.
it's okay. Yeah, I don't think we'd have anything to add to it other than it's a silly thing we did because it thought it'd be funny. Doesn't really have
There's
much.
a lot more to the epilogue than that. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm kind of getting, you know, it's been a few hours now, and I feel like I've said almost everything I have to say. So
That pan
yeah.
was really good. I think that was a good thing.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
pan that happens there. The CG goes so crazy.
Yeah, I made it to low res because I for some reason thought that we were still doing like backgrounds at 800 by 600, and this was one of the first things I did for the Steam release. So once that like was added, I didn't. I don't know. I couldn't be asked to like I can make it more high res because then I would have to redraw everything or
Put her
upscale it.
ass in the waifu 2x.
I would never. It looks so bad when you do that.
It does not look good.
I always liked how Yuno's ears were black.
Yeah.
It looks so nice against her hair.
I like that her pupils are just white.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how you draw a character to like look more like insane,
Mhm.
just by like making their pupil white. I don't know why it works, but it does.
It's like I'm always I was like
Gender TVH, yeah. I think if I could look like anything in the world, it'd probably be,
I'm always thinking of like Hobson. You know about Hobson?
a little bit.
I love when
Like
she trips
like
and
the
falls.
rapper.
Yeah, yeah. Doesn't he wear contacts?
Yeah, I'm trying to find the thing. I'm trying to find a good image here.
Oh yeah, this is new. We kind of like made, well, not really new, but we improved on the animation for hitting the wall.
Yeah, she like rotates slightly as she's falling.
Fucking killed me. And when Mary was working this out, and we like accidentally made her like too fast. She
I
just fucking
forgot about
flies into the
Hobson.
wall.
Dude, would listen to Hobson. Would listen to like Dance with the Devil by Immortal Technique and be like, this is the rawest song ever made.
Oh my fucking god. Brewster.
Would listen to Insane Clown Posse.
Would listen to Hollywood Undead.
Fuck you.
She totally would. That's so sick.
I guess I said that because I used to listen to Hollywood Undead.
Cute.
I don't fucking know why. They suck ass.
If you got Jack in the cup, race it up. I don't. Shit was so ass, dude.
I like
You
how you
listen
know
to
like
that.
any of the lyrics.
That's how it went.
Yeah, I was just like,
It was just like, I don't know. They were doing like the same thing as LMFAO. I don't know. They
What
were like
but like evil.
fucking, yeah,
do you
like
think that
evil LMFAO.
do you think that would like oh man, what's the band? Blood on the Dance Floor?
Probably. I think
Would
she
she
would be
like
very
she would
split.
like crunkcore?
That's a good question. This scene.
Wait, I just realized Ave Mujika is like Hollywood Undead.
No, fuck you. No, it's not. It's not.
That makes it better. That's so cute.
I was just imagining like a Hollywood Undead doing fucking stage plays.
Alvin is like fucking Game of Thrones. Like it's crazy.
What do you know like MSI? I don't know much about it. But probably. Will there be Alkaline Court merch? I'm still working out like how I'm going to handle that. So it's very funny to be like talking about which as the game is playing. But we're working out a shirt design. I'm gonna be putting this up like hopefully by the end of the month. Like pre-orders for it. It'll be much better than the shirt designs that I've been doing before that are just like one color. We're gonna have like full color ones. But yeah, it would be kind of a cute idea to have like an Alkaline Corp like logo shirt or something,
I
Or,
want
like a
Courier's
hat.
hat actually. That just made me realize I want to make Courier's hat.
That would be sick, yeah.
That'd be dope.
Like embroidered. Should do that.
That'd probably be so hard to do though.
The zoom, yeah, the like camera zooms that Mary added in are so fucking good. How did you
It's
do that,
Kino.
by the way? There's like a camera move like function in Ren'Py, right? You didn't like move the sprites and the background.
Yeah, the camera is its own entity that you can set like transforms on to just move it around. You just have to make sure that it stays within the confines of the scene itself.
Yeah. So for when the camera like kind of tilts a little bit there, that was something we had to like specifically find a good angle for at that moment.
That one I actually cheated on. I did a new scene. I put Yuno in the center of it,
Oh,
and then I zoomed in because there's not enough space on her left
yeah.
to really do the thing. And so and then I reset it immediately to what it was before.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery, a little bit of movie magic.
Yuri, someone said.
It's true.
I love how it like constantly zooms here. It's really great.
Yeah, nobody's ever drawn actually Courier Yuri. Or, I mean, sorry, Anna Yuri. I'm not sure that exists.
That would be crazy.
I gotta learn how to draw.
Why haven't I drawn that, honestly?
Yeah. Our brains aren't big enough, I guess.
Apple press presentation ass zoom. Yeah, the courier is standing there like Tim Cook.
Low-key, the best ship is Courier Maillard.
Holy shit.
You've been doing this kind of thing with the mailman?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That line.
Well, I also think it's really funny that, like, Anna would get, like, saved from loneliness and then, like, immediately left again.
That'd be
like
so
that.
fucking mean.
That would be crazy.
Get owned, idiot.
And she would have to, like, grapple with the, like, feeling that, like, her life wasn't interesting enough to, like, attract anybody.
Shit.
She wasn't worth sticking around for. Sorry, Shorty, we can't all play cottagecore. All of us got things to do.
If you brought a rifle, that would be a very different story for her.
Yeah, it would be.
Too bad she's not that smart.
That's hilarious, dude. If Yuno just blasted Courier in this scene, that would be so fire. She totally would, though. That's the funny thing. Yuno wouldn't, like, think of the repercussions of her actions. She would do that. That's awesome.
I've never thought about that.
Yuno blasts Courier and steals Anna. Oh my goodness.
Holy shit.
That's so swag.
This year's turns into like a cruelty squad like level, and it's just a POV of Yuno, and she use like blast Courier and Anna into smithereens.
Yeah. No, they wouldn't give her a gun. Maybe she like steals a screwdriver out of Courier's belt and like stabs her in the eye with it. But also, yeah, she did have a gun before.
I think she had it taken from her or something. Like,
in my mind, they like kind of lock up the guns at the end of the night or something, because she didn't get a chance to like grab hers as she escaped. You know.
I think she got like reprimanded or something, and that was like the impetus for her to escape. But she probably didn't like have all her stuff.
Yeah, that's it. Forehead cam.
Head camera.
This is another new scene. We felt like there was kind of like something that needed to be added between the last scene and what comes up next here. Oh yeah.
Well, it's like Yuno's story is next, so it kind of all just happened a bit too quickly.
Mm-hmm. This is a good addition too. Every VN has the part where they're looking up at the sky and thinking.
We need a stargazing scene.
That's true. That is missing.
It's the summer triangle, Courier.
That's Altair and Vega. The two favorite stars.
See that? That's Orion's belt. And Courier has to like pretend like she doesn't know any of this.
Just like, wow.
She's like, that's cool, Anna. I'm supported by evidence. Rationalist Anna.
Thank you for the sub, Sony Gay Station.
Cook.
There are some other ones too. Let's see. K9FGT. 101 Darrett also gifted a sub, so that's cool. Busy Fiddle Slam. F916253. Thank you guys. I feel like I'm doing my old streams again.
Anna actually talking to Yuno in that little scene is like a nice addition, I think.
Yeah.
It's like it shows Anna like trying to be nice to her, but also like hiding it from Courier because she knows that like Courier would be like, "Why did you go in there? You're endangering like all of us."
Mm-hmm.
I also like the notion that like Anna would like never let leave. Like, what if she like barricade all the windows, like boarded them all up and stuff, and like
Yeah, they just like
kidnapped her
kept
for
her there
life?
forever.
Yeah, forever. They make her live in the basement. They put her in the scary basement.
Here it is. We rewrote a lot of this for the Steam part. Steam release.
I think Yuna's a POW. I think if she needs to go to the bathroom, she's just gotta figure that out alone. That's what that's what they tell you in boot camp. COD blobs, Nazi zombies mode. Yeah, exactly. Dude, Maillard would be good, so good at Black Ops.
This part is so quiet. Hold on. There we go. So the song at this point that's playing, it was actually made by me, 2017. I don't really remember what I made it for, but I wanted to just make a bunch of spooky sounding music, I guess, at that time. I never put it on anything. I never really released it anywhere, but I was digging through my old stuff and found it and thought it would be good to use it here.
The sound file metadata, I think, has the medicine cover art on there,
Oh,
which is funny.
I guess I had it planned for medicine, but this wasn't healing enough.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like that, but you sent it to me when I did my remix of it that shows up earlier in the game. And I think for some reason it displays with the medicine cover art, but maybe it just like looks for other things by Mentha and finds that.
No, I think I definitely did that intentionally. I think I was like thinking about like RPG Maker Uiniki clone game music for this in terms of inspiration.
Yeah, Maillard would fall asleep. I don't even think it's that she would forget to look down. It's that she would be like, she'd be playing Kino der Toten and training them around the map and killing them with the traps because guns are useless after like wave 50. And then she would like fall asleep at the wheel and get eaten. But she would be like one wave under her personal best, and then she'd be really mad when she woke up.
Oh, this happens so fast on auto. All right, so let's do this one again. Cool edition by Mary, I think. Look at how cute Clara looks.
Then you have to like smash her portrait.
Yeah, so clicking here just makes it crack more, and then you have to do it again. And again. Sorry if that was loud. This is also added upon too. Anna's like breakdown here. The photo of Clara I actually had drawn like 2023 or so. Then I kind of polished it up for the game. We were going back and forth on whether we wanted to show Clara's face in the game, but I felt like it would have been a waste to not do so. Kind of hits harder.
I think it's additive.
Yeah. I love the blending mode things you did there too, like seeing the static in the darkness. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
I think it's really interesting that like the other dreams and stuff and other memories that like involve Clara, Anna isn't able to recall her, and she can only do it at like this moment, or like it becomes more direct to her at this moment. Like I don't know, it's interesting.
Does this mean this version has a definitive fate for Clara? I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, I think that it was more meant to like represent.
Like
It's like
Anna's
it's Anna's mental state. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Anna's worst fears, more so than like reality.
Yeah.
This is like one of the best passages written in this whole game, I think. I don't know. Puts a little tear in my eye.
What do you think Clara's favorite tea is?
I don't think they had like specialty tea back then. They just had.
She just says that though. She says, "Clara, I hope you're having your favorite tea."
It's probably just like green tea.
Yeah, I don't know.
Mushroom tea.
I don't know if they. I don't know if they had specialty tea back then.
Chamomile.
They had tea a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, was it all just like Earl Grey or whatever, or did they have like some Chinese shit?
That sounded so funny. I don't know the way you said it. Rose
don't
tea.
know
I feel like
how else
Clara
to put it.
would like rose tea.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I'm saying they had like types of tea like 1,000 years ago.
That's not what I mean. I mean, like, in America at the time, did they
They're
have
not American. They're from Gamut, Mary.
Oh my god, okay. Yeah, puer shotgun shell, you just load it up and send me away.
I'd actually drink some puer tea after this. That actually sounds kind of pleasant.
Yeah, I'm down.
I'm kind of down. We should do that.
I bet getting hit by like a shotgun pellet of tea would like taste so good.
What are you talking about? What is a shotgun pellet of tea?
Puer shotgun shell.
Yeah, because have you seen like the bricks?
Yeah, they're really hard.
Rabbit ear tea? Wait, Googling. I'm gonna Google this.
What the fuck? That better not be made of what I think it is.
Rabbit ears? That's what they do with all the ears that they shear off from foot soldiers. They turn it into tea to fund, and then they sell it to fund the war effort.
Almost
The great
throwing
effort.
it.
The great ear.
Their Earl Grey is Gamut flavored. Yeah.
Girl who cares a lot. What happened there?
The hugger.
Whoa.
Did you see that?
I did see that. I don't know what that was.
Patch note. Patch time.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
Oh, cute. This is adorable.
There was an older version of this illustration as well. Probably show it after this scene.
But yeah, like the beta one.
Also,
There's
the
different-
light above them is the light from the switchboard. I thought that was cute.
Yeah,
have
that's
it there.
really nice.
Courier without her
Okay.
hat. Cruel that I see this scene but can't smell Courier's clothes.
What do you think Courier smells like?
Like chemicals.
Dust and chemicals, but very pleasant.
Yeah, but why chemicals? She's not like a chemical worker. I feel like she'd just be sweaty.
The beta drawings available anywhere.
I was gonna say she's been working in Anna's basement for like 4 or 5 days now and hasn't showered once for all we know. All I'm saying. Yeah, tequila. Coke. Wet metal. Courier smells like blood and metal.
So
She smells like salty coins.
about like the beta drawings and just all of the project files from this game, you can actually access them through my archive, which I feel silly about plugging here, but it's on my site. You can see like access the entirety of my entire life's work for $5. Oh, I will link it here.
Yeah, throw Memphis some dollars.
Give Mentha dollars.
I'm poor. Hell. I'll put up the beta version of the drawing here, actually.
I think Courier's against showers.
That's so mean.
No, I think she just like isn't about that lifestyle.
Here's the earlier version of the drawing. She had her hair up. I thought
Oh
that
my god, she was so Anna's so tiny.
I know.
Yeah.
I should have made her a bit more tiny, but I also like I thought it would make more sense that like Courier had to like crouch down a little bit here to
Oh,
Cute.
I don't think if you noticed.
actually, that's really good.
Yeah. I guess
Seeing them,
that,
you
yeah.
can see them as an animation. It's 1 and then 2. Like Shorty gets in there.
That's really cute.
And here's hold on. Another bonus thing here. Oh, that's huge. I drew this when I was waiting for the plane on the way home after we worked on the game a lot. It's so small. Tiny. Put this here. When I had written the whole bit about the hug, it was written with how the experience of what it's like hugging Mary is like, because she is a bit taller than me, and I remember the first time I ever hugged her, I'd like listen to her heartbeat.
You're killing me. That's so sweet.
Your heartbeat thumps a lot.
It's all the caffeine.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's actually all the caffeine. That's true.
I'm gonna have my heart's gonna fail in 2 years.
Your heart is like Factorio.
What the fuck?
Yay! That was the game. But there's more from this one really weird girl who left a note in my mailbox. What the fuck?
Worst postcard ever.
Yeah, new CG. Felt like it was weird to not draw this, so I drew it, and it's here. You know,
Small
letter.
girl and tall girl. She doesn't even know their names.
Yeah, she really doesn't. I mean, they never refer to each other in name.
Yeah.
In the same, or maybe they do, but I feel like she wouldn't remember either way. So who's
It's
the
kind
one?
of ambiguous whether or not Anna and Courier ever see this letter.
Yeah,
I think
meant to leave it that way. Yeah.
yeah, it's like when you're seeing it right now is when it's just sitting in a mailbox. So it's kind of like just like you as a reader is seeing this. It's not necessarily like someone picking it up and reading it.
Wrote it when she was trapped in the room, but then left it in there as she left, and it's established at the beginning that Anna doesn't check the mail because her mailbox is in a ditch.
Yeah.
So who knows? Maybe she gets it, maybe she doesn't.
Bill Waltz.
Bill Walls. I like the crickets on that part, or not the crickets, because cicadas. Never noticed he added that there.
It's nice to have something to listen to that wasn't just the wind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that was almost 3 hours exactly this stream. Not sure if we can add anything else. If anyone wants to add any other questions other than that, we are probably going to go very soon. This was really fun.
I'm glad the music has been bringing you some comfort. I hope your health turns around and that there is bright light in your future. Wishing you well.
Yeah. I have a family member who's going through liver failure, and it's scary, and I hope it works out for you.
Anime adaptation win.
Thank you, Tuna Man Guy. Whenever I think about this game, I feel a little bad because I almost wish it was like a bit longer, but I mean, like, people are saying it's nice, and I just wish I could give them more, but I guess that's what the next game is going to be for. I hope that you guys enjoy it then. We're all very excited to show you what we've been doing.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, thanks for dropping in, everybody. This was fun.
Yeah. Hope you all have a good night.
Yeah, stay safe out there.
Mm-hmm. Meow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, one last thing. Hold on.
Well.
Wait.
Oh, yeah.
Hold on. When did she say new pack load is off? There we go. Alright. This is my favorite line in the game.
I always imagine she like pronounces it like really. She's like new pack loud as F. You know,
You think
she's
she
like
says it like that?
No. I like to think she's like saying it. She's exhaling. She's like, new pack load is up. Alright. Good night, everybody.
Look at Courier's face, sorry. Look how distraught Courier looks. Courier's like disgusted. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's time to go now.
Bye bye.
Thanks for coming by. Thanks for asking
Bye.
questions. I love that you guys love this game, and we love you guys. So,
we love you.
Thank you.